Hello everybody and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon, and I'm back today with yet another episode of The World Tree Burns. And we're back today, and we're actually facing dragons in Dungeons & Dragons, for some of us, for the very first time. But let's get into it, my friends. Let's figure out who we are and who we're going to be playing. And let's start with our illustrious Dungeon Master, Dan Dillon. Dan, how's it going, my friend?
It is going very, very well. I am on vacation. I am at family's house across the country, so I'm out of my usual element. Things might look a little different. Hopefully the internet connection and the equipment are cooperating, but we seem to be good so far. I'm excited. I'm a little worried for you guys, particularly with our absence of Josh, but we will do what we can. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. We also have McLoken back with us tonight. McLoken, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great. I just want to say for the podcast listeners, I'm going to describe Dan's house right now. The windows have a diamond-shaped pattern of wood over it with a curtain, a beige curtain. I believe that's wood paneling walls, a nice white ceiling, the lamp wallpaper that is very bright. Oh, it's wallpaper? Okay. You know, it's not the greatest camera, so, you know, I'm just describing, you know. It's like if I didn't have my glasses or contacts in, I'm describing what I see from far away. Today I'll be playing Cloak, and I have literally been having anxiety about this whole thing ever since it was like, there's a dragon that has magma under its scales, and I'm like, well, fuck. So then there's another dude in there, and there's some kobolds, and a lot of plotting on my point.
Great stuff. Well, we also have Laurelania back with us tonight. Tia, how's it going?
Good. I am super excited. I love Kari. I have been thinking about her a lot over this past week, as we are going to be seeing a dragon very soon, and I'm also afraid that we don't have one of our Dampiers with us, but she is a Shadow Fae cleric of the cat domain. And yeah, I'm terrified. I don't know what else to say. Dan is not the DM that pulls the punches, and this could be a TPK that I am. I've never experienced a full TPK before in D&D.
If this goes badly, I will kill all of you, and then we'll just figure it out from there. It'll be fine.
Great.
I'm totally okay with that, because D&D characters are made to die occasionally.
We were all born to Laurelania. We were all born to die. 2018. That's the super exciting message for the beginning of today's game. Coming to any D&D session, ready for death, both in and out of character. But we have Tour School with us. Tour School, how's it going, my friend?
I am doing good. I'm looking forward to this. I am one of those people who has never fought a dragon before in Dungeons and Dragons, and yeah, doing such at level 2 is going to be an experience. I am playing Glazerson, who is our Throlkin wizard. He is a leyline geomancer, and oh, poor Glaz, we knew him well, because I have no doubt that if he gets hit by just about anything, yeah, it's going to be lights out for our big Throlkin sweetheart, Glaz.
Is Glaz injured right now?
No, he has had full hit points, but that just means 16.
That's about to change.
Okay, all right.
Ooh. Great stuff. Awesome. As for myself, I'll be playing Riodan, the Dampier cleric. And everything that I'm going to be doing today is casting Bless on the rest of the party, because goddamn, the spell's been pretty clutch thus far in our combats. And if there's going to be a dragon, then we're going to be making a lot of rolls. So, yeah, we're going to get into it today, my friends. But before we do, yes, we are one player down, so we're a little bit worse off against the dragon. Before we do, I'm reminding you guys, of course, we're sponsored here today by Kobold Press. Go and check out the Midgard materials. Folks were chatting before, saying they've bought all the Midgard books since we started playing them, but definitely go ahead and check them out, because they're fucking awesome. We are using the world's, not the World Tree Burns, the World Book itself. And, of course, we're using the Hero's Handbook for much of our characters. So go to koboldpress.com to check out those materials. And, of course, check out Fancy Grounds. The beautiful maps that you're about to see are on fancygrounds.com. And you can try out their demo version for free, or their first licenses start at just $4. So get playing tabletop role-playing games with your friends. And last but not least, whalengames.co.uk for all of your D&D book needs outside of Kobold Press, and all of your RPG and board game stuff, your Warhammer miniatures and more. They sell so much good stuff at 20% off, up to 20% off the retail values. Go and check those out. Of course, you guys can interact with today's show. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button and join us. Here's a tweet for you guys. And there is the button to donate to give players Nat 1s, Nat 20s, Wild, Magic Surges, and I think Peacocks is pretty much the only other available option right now. I'll hand over to Dan Dillon to remind ourselves of what happened last week on the show, though.
All right. So last time we had an interesting discovery where you found a hall within this complex that seemed to be dedicated to the ancestors of this dwarven clan. And in the center of it was this incongruous golden sarcophagus covered in vampiric Morena the Red Goddess and other Blood Kingdom imagery. And our lovely Dampier Riodan had a strange vision wherein he saw the corpse of his presumably long dead lover resting within, and then the corpse animated, broke through the glass, grabbed hold of him, and began babbling incoherently and madly about blood flowing. And then sank back into the coffin. Everyone else just sort of saw this withered vampire corpse spasm up, break through the glass, claw at him, and then fall back. But that gifted him with a strange, enchanted scourge that seems to be perhaps dedicated or at least touched by the faith of Morena the Red Goddess, and he can use it to create lashes of blood to strike at his foes from afar. After a great deal of investigation, led mostly by Cloak, our Niemheim gnome, they traversed through some secret doors and found what was an ancient armory full of molten slag, or long melted slag, that was once armor and weapons, but destroyed by some unimaginable heat. Save for a blackened suit of plate armor hanging in the center of the chamber, and 4 longswords scattered throughout the room, one of them transfixing the relatively fresher corpse of one of the bandits that they've been tangling with. Clearly not trusting these articles, they have given them a wide berth and stayed away from them. They haven't touched them. They've not even really gotten close to them if they can help it. And Kari skirted just along the outside of the wall, away from the weapons and armor, to get into the door that they knew led to the Great Forge, the heart of the halls of Everforge, and where they believed the leader of these bandits and possibly a dragon awaits them. And it is there that we find Kari, looking into this great chamber that is wide and tall, with a vaulted ceiling and a dais going up some steep stairs leading up to a dais at the center of the north wall of the chamber. Atop that is a great iron and brass plate, and rising up out of this plate is a roaring inferno in the shape of a ring that seems to suck air in to this rift it has created within this strange circle of fire. Standing atop the dais, gazing into this circle, is indeed a dragon. It is easily the size of any of the party, with its wings folded tightly against its black-scaled body, and the heat of what appears to be molten metal or even magma showing through these black scales at its chest and throat, and its eyes and ears and nostrils and mouth. There are kobolds sort of scattered about the front section of the chamber near the closed double doors that you all know lead back into the main hallway. On the far side, you can see another single door that will lead into another chamber beyond, very similar to the one that Kari is peeking out of. There are 4 immense iron anvils, 2 on each east and west sides of the room. One of them, nearish to the door where Carrie is peeking through, this would be the northwestern anvil. On the back side of it, barely able to see her behind its just immense black presence, is the dwarf woman Paula Everforge. She is seated on the stone floor of the Great Forge, her feet stretched out in front of her, and she seems to be holding her chest or shoulder and slumped, but you can see that she is breathing. Her shoulders are rising and falling, and you can see her hand occasionally sort of favoring her shoulder as if she's hurt or injured. On the stairs, looking up at the...
She was at the bottom of the steps? Sorry. Sorry, I'm
she's
trying
not-
to like write down as fast as you're explaining everything. Is she on the
Sure.
bottom of the steps?
No, she's not, yes, she's on the ground floor. There are these 4 giant anvils that are about 5 feet wide, 10 feet long, and one of the anvils is on the ground floor at the kind of northwest corner of the room, and she's leaning up against the top of that anvil, the north side of that anvil. In each of the 4 corners of the rooms are great stone cisterns, the kind that would hold water or oil for smiths to quench their heated blades and other wares in. While they are working. You cannot, from your vantage point, see if there is anything in them at this time, but they do all seem to be intact. So there are 8 kobolds near the south wall of the room, near the double doors. There's the dragon at the top of the dais at this swirling. You look at it; it looks like a portal, and beyond you can see just an inferno raging. Beyond that fiery limit. And there is one more figure in the room. There is a human man, middle-aged, with a shaved head that has just started to grow back to stubble, showing that his hairline is deeply receded. And he is standing with like 1 foot on the stairs that lead up to the dais, and kind of looking up at the dragon and the swirling portal of flame. He's wearing a crimson robe with some silver embroidery, and not much else going on with him at that very moment. But as we had left off, you had successfully snuck to the door and opened it, and as far as you can tell, not drawn anyone's attention.
I have a quick question. So the dwarf, she is on the north side of the northwestern anvil?
Correct.
Sort of between the anvil and the wall?
She's closest to us, yeah.
Yep.
Well, but she's not on the west side. She's on the north side. So she would be... What I'm trying to do is figure out...
She's facing the back wall.
She's facing the back wall. Okay.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So she's probably an eye line. Whether or not when someone could sneak over and maybe help her. Yep. No.
Possible. However, I will say that that looks pretty good. I will say that there is no cover between the door and the anvil, so if someone were to come through the door, you would almost certainly be seen.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And now, Glaz, the rest of you are still in the armory, the molten, destroyed, incinerated armory. When she opens the door, not only does that wave of heat roll into the room, and you can see just that ruddy light fill the otherwise dark chamber that you're all standing in, but you can hear this fever pitch song of the ley line from the chamber as the door opens.
Okay.
God.
So, okay. Oh, that's good. Interesting. Okay. So this is the same piccolo, but just louder,
frantic.
Crazier, clearer. Okay.
Yeah. And so,
what do you guys want to do here? Because there's a fucking dragon.
That is a fucking dragon. Excuse my Quebecian. Do we want to get involved? We have a dragon. I mean, there is the door back there, isn't there? We could go back home. And the dwarf there, I mean, she wasn't very good anyway. She barely finished her job.
I mean, we can get in and get her. We can sink in and just get her. Because I think they need her for the ritual. And then we just get the fuck out.
We could do that.
I will quickly remind you that you had a little bit of information on that front when you interrogated one of the bandits that you captured. You know that they apparently wanted Paula Everforge because she had the ability to reawaken this portal.
Oh, and it seems like... Can I roll Arcana to see if this portal's awakened?
Sure, go ahead and roll.
The giant group fire that is passing through it.
There is the option of killing the dwarf so that she can't reopen the portal.
19.
I think.
And then fleeing.
Oh, that is absolutely an open, active portal, and it seems to be growing stronger. You wouldn't necessarily trust a trip through it at the moment. It seems incredibly dangerous or unstable. Maybe if you had some magic to protect you from fire. And if you had to guess, you would say that it is a portal to the plane of fire.
Okay, so the portal's already open, so we can steal her and get out of here, because I think this is better suited for, like, an army to show up, because...
How big is that dragon?
The dragon is probably about 6 or 7 feet tall, feet from snout to the base of its body, with another 6 or 7 feet of tail. Easily 6 feet tall at the shoulder. A little shorter, more like 4 feet tall at the shoulder. So it's a medium-sized creature.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't seem like
imagine an orc got down on all fours and then
Yeah. In my head, I was imagining like a larger, huge dragon, but a medium dragon.
It is not.
Oh, it's just the baby.
Yeah.
I mean,
really?
okay,
I mean, it's still a dragon, but it is just a baby dragon.
If there was an adult dragon, I'd be a little bit worried. But we can get her out of there. I can sneak in here and get her, and then bring her back. And I could sneak in there. I'm sneaky.
Could we not pose a distraction at the double doors, and then you run in and grab the woman? I could run straight down the hall.
They might. Do you think that thing might follow us out of here if we do that?
He'd probably send the kobolds after you, but they'll be distracted looking the other way. Wait, what is the class?
I could probably put at least quite a few of those kobolds to sleep. Maybe all of them. Kobolds are easily manipulated.
I mean, yes. But would you cast it? Would you cast it from the front door?
Well, I could do it from either door. I just need to be able to see them. The room is not that big, and I can cast it a fairly good distance away. We used to do pranks all the time in class. So, what I'm more worried about, what about this guy in the red robes? He looks he
looks sketchy.
Definitely on the sketchy side.
Well, if we were going to fight people, I say we would have to fight him, because I imagine he's a magic user of some sort, and we would have to kill him first and then kill the dragon. Because the kobolds, we can just send fluff and stuff after.
The dragon is small enough to look like it will fit through the doors, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like he can't get out of here. He hasn't,
Nope.
I really do think that the dragon, if we take that dwarf, if it is needed for something else, who knows what, that they will come after us. I think they're going to come after us pretty much no matter what.
I think that's what they wanted.
Perhaps an armorer, and she's a dwarf. She might be a good fighter. Maybe we give her a little heal up and give her one of these swords.
Does she look like she could run at the moment, Dan, or I think you described her as looking pretty injured?
It looks like she's either injured or maybe exhausted, but I mean, she's alive, and you don't see any, just from the very brief glance you can take through the cracked door, it doesn't look like she has any major impairments to getting up and moving.
Okay.
Now, question: if she has a broken leg or something, you can't really tell that from a glance.
Does she have armor on, or?
So she has, from what you can see, she has trousers, heavy leather boots, probably like a lighter linen tunic, and then it looks like she was maybe grabbed from the workshop when you guys inspected and investigated the scene at her forge. It looks like she's wearing a heavy leather apron, but not proper armor. It may afford her some protection.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. Is any of the armor in this armory that isn't melted down to slag dwarven sized?
The only armor in there that is in any way functional is that suit of plate armor that's hanging in the center of the room.
Which I don't think we get near that. That is sketchy.
But even if we did get near that, or had her equip it, it would be 10 minutes before she could put it on.
It would take her 10 minutes to be able to put on that armor.
Yeah.
We
have
so
how do you want to call?
I don't want to put the bear in front of a dragon because I don't know how well that would turn out. I say, like, if we're going to take out the dragon, like, we all need to go ham. You know, just, like, all attack it. Right? If we don't all attack it, I mean, and we just put the bear on it, it's going to kill the bear. And, I mean, I love Love and stuff. He's tough. But, he's almost died a few times already.
Oh, I absolutely agree. We still all need to go. We can't just throw a bear in there. It's not going to work like that. Sure. But the bear is going to keep the dragon attacking the bear while we attack the dragon. And that's now we're starting to have some good odds here.
Yeah. Maybe I can team up with the bear or Fluff and stuff to fight the dragon. Real quick, my Arcana roll is that guy concentrating on that? Like, does he need to be concentrating on the portal of what he's doing?
It does not look like the fellow in red is under any sort of concentration or maintaining any kind of magical ritual that you can tell.
I just want to ask that real quick.
Is this evoking any thoughts or emotions of the impending end of the world that my character keeps dreaming about?
I would say not directly. It's probably invoking plenty of anxiety on its own, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So, here is another option, but, kobolds, there's lots of them. Maybe, with some luck, I could put the red guy to sleep.
That could be a good idea.
And kobolds are pretty squishy.
And scared.
That's true. It's just that when there are a lot
I could try to target this just right so that I get maybe one kobold and red guy, but there's still 7 kobolds up there. I'd worry if I catch too many kobolds that the red guy will not go to sleep.
Well, here's my thought. Us all ganging up on one guy has gone well for us in the past. When there were a lot of kobolds, Cloak got shot a lot. So I wonder if just taking down one guy, even if he is a magic user, might be easier for us than 5 or 6 kobolds all shooting their little bows at us at the same time. But I tell you this much, my friends. I am happy to go in there with you if you ask it of me. I owe you all a great debt after you found this item Jenier left behind for me. So
I will point out, Kari, that you could see that these kobolds are not in fact carrying bows. They're carrying slings and daggers. So slightly less dangerous than short bows.
Less deadly, and your hunting tactic is superior. I think that we should do this. Save the dwarf, heal her, get her to join us, take down the magic user, and perhaps kill and scare off the kobolds. Perhaps the dragon will barter with us.
The trick with its kobolds is you just don't touch them. Tell the bear not to touch them, we don't touch them, then they will stay asleep.
Okay.
So then we just have a dragon and a red guy. Hopefully, maybe 1 or 2 kobolds. We could get lucky.
Well, I have a potion of healing I can give the dwarf, and then
Ooh, that is nice.
Yeah, and then do we have a weapon that we can give her? I don't know what she's good with.
Oh well, we picked up some of these. Actually, we can run
it.
back and grab any of these short swords or something. These guys have been dropping weapons left and right. Actually, scimitars. Didn't someone pick up the scimitars from the dude outside?
The swords that were in the room as well that didn't get melted by the fire. They may have some magic principle. I don't know, but
one thing to keep in mind is that if you're going to try to arm her, simple weapons are a good bet that she'll likely be proficient with. Martial weapons may be more of a toss-up. You're not sure what her training is.
Okay.
So something like a dagger or a club is an easy bet that she knows how to use well enough.
Okay, so this is what we can, because she doesn't look like she has really good armor on. Well, no, there's is there a short sword in here?
Is there in the armory? No. The only pieces of equipment of any functional value are the plate armor and the 4 long swords.
Are long swords simple, or they're martial?
They're martial. They're martial.
No, but a 2-handed quarterstaff is as good as a long sword.
Okay.
Correct.
So, should
Sorry,
we?
total meta.
Yeah. It's fine with me.
You guys know how weapons work. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we can use that, but the question is, I don't think she's going to be too good in a fight. Like, we can give that to her to defense, and then I can give her Puff Puff to like help defend her and like get her out of the room. But I mean, that's really. But like, we can do that as distractions going on, and then maybe Kari and Kane can take out the kobolds as fast as they can, and then we ambush the other two. So depending on how we want to attack them. Do we want to attack the guy in red or the dragon first?
I think we should attack the man in the red first and have Glass put the kobolds to sleep. There's a chance that your magic might not work on the man.
If I know anything about leadership, and I don't pretend that I do, but if I had minions and some people walked in and they killed them, well, it would prove to me that my minions were useless, and perhaps these newcomers would be more useful to me. I see myself very much as a dragon, in personality and in sleekness of physique, but I wonder if we didn't anger the dragon itself, whether or not it would attack us outright. Now, of course, it's a gamble, but if we attack the dragon, it's bound to attack us back in kind. So what I'm really saying is, let's not attack the dragon.
Well, let's get the red guy first.
Okay, we'll kill the red guy.
I was saying, yes.
So, are we still gonna do?
Well, once we're with green.
Are we still gonna open the front door for distraction?
I could do that.
Or
I
actually, just a quick question, Dan. I mean, can we send Kane around just as a go pound on the front door?
Because that was going to be my suggestion. Yes.
Yeah. So that he goes and pounds on the front door. They all look that way, and Laz.
So you just want him to bang on it, not necessarily open it.
Well, I mean, you would have to open it because banging on it, that's like a giant stone door, and you're walking up and banging on it. It's not really.
That's true. I wasn't thinking they were stone doors. I was.
Right.
So I mean, well, the only thing is actually, it's a 20-foot radius. So it's 40. My sleep spell is 40 feet across. Even if they ran straight, even if they sprinted straight for the door, I think I still could get all the kobolds because they're right there by the door. Correct.
So currently they're spread out a little bit. You could get certainly several of them if they stay in the configuration they are now. They would have to kind of clump in toward the door for you to definitely get all of them.
Ooh, so there we go.
But you suspect that perhaps a disturbance and certainly a person at the door would be the sort of thing that would
way to clump them together.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kane throws open the doors, does spooky owl trick. And then,
also quick question:
like a barn owl.
Can Fluff and Stuff fit through the door that we're by right now, the smaller door, or can he only fit through?
But he will have to squeeze, and you suspect he might have to just how big he is to get him into the door. If you recall, that suit of armor is hanging basically right in front of the door, and you guys can kind of give it enough room to be not terribly uncomfortable going past it, because you guys last session wanted to give the functional equipment in that room a very wide berth. Fluff and Stuff will not be able to do that. It's just too big.
Okay. So it might be smart that Fluff and Stuff go with Kane, and then when Kane gets the doors open, and we get everything going, Bear comes in. Bear ignore, and we can just have him ignore the kobolds, and then go straight for. I imagine who's first in the room, the dragon or the guy in red?
The guy in red is going to be closest after the kobolds. So the guy in red, if you guys have the map up on Fantasy Grounds, yeah?
Yep.
No.
Okay. So no. All right.
Share,
I don't at least. I'm watching the oh, there we go. Hello.
I actually do have it open.
All right. So the fellow in red is standing at the eastern corner of those steep steps, kind of by the number 12. That makes sense. You guys might have a player-friendly map, so there's no number there. But he's at the right.
I was like, there's definitely no number.
Right. So sorry.
I started looking for the number. He's at east.
Yeah, east, right. Yep.
This right. Can I
corner
enter
of the
drawing
stairs.
mode right here where this X is? Haha.
I don't see your X.
It's a very thin, tiny little like black dot. Oh, does it not show up?
No,
I believe it shows up
see it.
nice color.
So we're on the west side. He's across the room. The kobolds are going to be in the bottom. The dragon is where currently?
Up on the dais. So center of the north wall.
And the dwarven lady is also on the north east of the room by the top right and
west.
West.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I can sneak in there and get in position and get the dwarven lady healed up, and then get her back over here. Or when all the commotion happens, we all just kind of start. The only problem is that the other guy's across the way and the dragon's in the way. We might.
But there will be a bear charging at the red guy. Hopefully, the dragon turns towards red guy and bear. So as we go charging across.
Yes. Okay. So we'll all focus the one guy first, and then avoid the dragon. To see what happens. Hopefully, the dragon doesn't want to save his friends.
Right.
So, okay.
Step
Hopefully,
one.
it's like Reardon dragon. Okay.
So step one, Kane opens door. Step two, count to 3 as kobolds run towards door. Step 2, Glaz casts sleep. Step 3, bear runs towards guy in red. Step 4, we all come running through out of our room. Ranged attack or getting to kill guy in red. Simultaneously, Cloak runs up and heals Dwarven lady and hands her quarterstaff.
But
Heal
that's for
red guy,
step
kill
one.
dragon, or negotiate with dragon.
I'm gonna sneak in there and heal her before all this happens, and then keep her
But
calm.
if you get caught, then it won't work at all. I think you need to wait for the doors to open.
No, I'm tiny. I can sneak in there. It'll be fine.
There is no cover for you. From the door to the anvils, you will be seen.
I'll hide behind the anvil. The anvil's like as tall as I am.
Is it that as tall as I am, or am I just pulling that out of my ass?
He said that there is no cover from our door to the anvil.
Right. So the anvils are easily, waist high on a medium-sized creature, but it's about 10 feet open space between the door and the anvils.
And the red guy's is right there. He would be able to look straight through the anvil.
The guy in red and the dragon basically have clear lines of sight to the door.
Yeah, you've got to have them looking the other way for you.
So we need a distraction. Okay, I got it. Okay, yeah, we're good. Okay. So, all right, let's do it. As soon as the doors open, I'm going to sneak in there.
Yep.
All right, so at this point, Kane sort of gives you all a little bit of a pained look and kind of humps. And Whisper on his shoulder turns its head 180 degrees around to look at you and sort of clacks its beak together and says, "There are traps in front of the door. Not sure the bear can avoid them."
Oh, that's right. There's the weird pattern that they walked in front of the double doors.
Mm-hmm. He furrows his brow and says, "I can try to set them off early."
That's our only option. We don't want the bear getting trapped.
We can't lose the bear.
Yeah, the bear is critical.
How's the bear looking, by the way?
We healed him up, remember? He used his hit dice.
I believe everybody's whole.
Yeah,
you guys took a short rest.
Okay. I didn't know it. All right. Okay. How about... shit. All right. Keep the bear... Keep Fluff and stuff out of the room, and while you activate the traps, just in case they're noisy traps. I don't know what kind of traps they are.
And then let us know when you deactivate them.
Well, we just sit here and wait till the doors open. We assume that he has done his job. If the doors don't open...
He nods and points to Glaz.
Okay, well, I mean, sure. I mean, that's why they pay you the big bucks, Glaz.
I will count to 100. Twice.
Okay, what happens after 100?
If the doors do not open, we are going to say it all went to shit and we get out of here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you guys, Kane grabs...
I mean, I'm trying to think of everything that has to happen. Whatever, for story's sake, he counts to 300. Just in case.
All right, so Kane grabs a hold of the scruff of the bear's neck and kind of pulls it along and kind of and follows after.
I hug Fluff and stuff before he leaves.
It kind of snuffles at you and then follows Kane out.
Okay.
So they head out through the secret door, and the bear, spends a few seconds just hauling its ponderous bulk through this comically narrow gap in the wall relative to its size, and leaves probably a tuft of fur behind in the stonework. But so they vanish through the door, and it is all down to the waiting. So let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to say roughly about 45 seconds to a minute later. If there's anything you guys want to do in prep, now's your chance. If you're good, then we'll just move on to... Okay.
I guess I'll just be right there by the door, by our door.
All right, so we will...
Yeah, I'm ready to sneak.
The camera will cut out to the front hallway. It is well lit with the marble statues of armor and weapons, and Kane sort of creeps up to that first pressure plate that you guys located near the Hall of the Ancestors, and he uses we'll say he uses like the scabbard of his rapier to sort of reach out from a distance and press down on the plate, which does indeed depress with a soft ka-chunk, and a volley of darts fire out of these cunningly concealed holes in one of the statues on the left side of the wall. And they'll just clatter harmlessly against the far wall. However, there is a sudden grinding of ancient mechanisms and a ka-chunk by the doors, and the front doors fly open as part of the same trap mechanism. Immediately, the kobolds toward the door, and the fellow in red reaches a hand into a pouch as the doors boom open, and the dragon whirls around and flares its wings as a red blast of heat belches up its throat, and flame arcs out of its nostrils, and its wing membranes begin to glow orange. And that reveals Kane and the bear standing in the hallway, somewhat surprised as the doors bang open. So why don't we roll initiative?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
It's going well already on that 10-point plan. Let's say... oh, wait, I know.
Glaz is sitting there going,
I'm not doing well.
89. Wait, what?
Bear. Well, the brown bear rolled a nat 20.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, bear!
Bear MVP. We are shame in comparison to this bear.
Yeah, I know. I'm not doing too well right now. So.
You did that one on initiative. Good. Oh no!
I'm getting it out of the way now, man.
Yeah, that's true. It's important to...
For sure.
We'll be fine.
King Dragon, Kobold to door, sleep, bear to man, run out, kill guy, heal dwarf.
All right.
Those are mine.
Let's get the initiative sorted out. Do we have anybody over 20? We got the bear on 20. 20 to 15.
I am an 18.
An 18. 18 Kari.
We don't have Kane's roll, so...
Yeah, I'll take care of that roughly as well as I can. You know what? He's fast. He's actually going to beat the bear.
Oh.
Nice.
So we'll put Kane on. Does anyone know his dexterity off the top of your head? I think I know it.
+4.
Yeah, I thought so.
Could be a 4.
Is it really plus? Is it +4? Damn. Look at him rolling the good stats. All right,
The
so
best characters have the low stats.
yeah, 15 to 10. 15 to 10. Anyone? Nope. Oh dear.
Stop judging me.
Riordan has 14, doesn't he?
I got a 14. Oh, sorry. Sorry, dude. My fucking brain is not in gear today. Yes.
All right.
I can't fucking math.
All right. 10 to 5.
Glaz is on an 8.
Glaz is on 8. 5 to 0.
Oh, Cloak's on a 3. He's like getting his blade out and he's like, okay, I'm gonna sneak in there. What the fuck?
Well, go ahead and roll a d20, Cloak, and tell me what you get.
10.
Okay.
I'm afraid what that was for.
You were tied. You were tied.
You're completely average.
You were tied with one of the bad guys. We were rolling off to see who gets the initiative. All right. So it's going to be top of the order with Kane. And I think he is going to go ahead and take a shot at that fellow in red who you suspect is the man known as Spensius. Yeah, he'll go ahead and do that. And he will frickin' crit him.
Nice!
that is a nat 20. That is a 20 and a max on the first damage die.
God damn.
Look at that.
Jesus.
Gotta give it to him.
That's all right. So,
And when
so
the
you all
bot
can.
is better than the player.
Yeah. So guys, you guys have the door cracked open just so you can make sure that you hear and see when everything goes down. So you're shocked when the doors just boom all the way open. As is everyone else in the room. However, a split second after that, an arrow goes whistling through the chamber and drives itself into the shoulder of that fellow in red, and he cries out in pain. So that's going to be quite a bit of damage on him, which he no likey. Right. So that was Kane. The bear, I believe, was under orders to go straight at the man in red as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So the bear, unfortunately, doesn't know to wait for Kane to make sure that any further traps down the way are disarmed.
Right.
So he's going to run through and possibly trip a couple of these pressure points.
Come on, bear.
All right, so he's going to maybe get shot with some darts. All right, well, he's going to be crit by one of the traps.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yikes.
All right, 6, 10, 11. He takes quite a bit of damage from that.
Bear, no. It's already going wrong.
Bellows in pain, and as Fluff and Stuff comes charging into the chamber, you can see that he is sort of riddled down one side with looks like 6 or 7 darts stuck into his flank, and he just barrels. See what I did there? Straight through the chamber. Basically knocks one of the kobolds sort of spun over on his ass, just out of sheer surprise and terror, and goes roaring straight at Spensius. So he's going to take a bite and a claw at him. Looks like the claw is definitely going to hit. Yeah, you guys knew that the fellow, the fellow who hired them is someone named Spensius.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's totally going to hit him. Oh. Crap, I didn't write this down. That's right there. Sorry for my disorganization. Oof. So he claws him and blood sprays the stones. And this fellow seems to be in extremely bad shape with the just massive rents down his robes. And you can see that he's wearing some leather armor underneath. that is split right across the chest now by the bear claws. So that's Kari's turn.
I am going to use one of my nat 20s, and I am going to shoot Spensius.
Oh dear.
With my
All
arrow.
right. Well, then that will be a critical hit. Let's roll some damage.
6 and 3
11.
is
Should be
8.
11 points.
Okay.
11?
Yep.
Okay. So you draw back your arrow, and that purple, almost like the sort of the ghostly armor of the dwarf king's arm appears superimposed over yours, and you hear that growl in your ear again, Carthurans. And the glowing purple arrow flies through the forge and catches Spensius right behind the jaw, and he spins down to the ground.
Nice.
He is down and bleeding.
Nice. Actually, I didn't add it. Tia, did you have your +1, the bow +1 added into your damage? Because it might be actually been 12 points of damage.
Same difference.
Yeah, he's still down.
Yeah.
I figured it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I do need to know that.
Yes.
I have 1d6 plus 2 piercing marked for this short bow for some reason, so...
That is correct. It's your
Okay.
one. Are you 1 or 2 for
Oh, my
dexterity?
dex and my magical damage. Yeah, my 1 from
Correct.
dexterity. So yeah, it's 6 plus
Yeah,
2.
so it is right.
And then 3 plus... Yeah.
There you go. All right, that's Kari. Riodan, your turn.
I cast Bless on Glaz, Cloak, and Carry.
All right.
It works.
It works every time. Blessings of Moraine are upon you.
All right, blessings are upon you, kobolds. So the kobolds are going to... Man, let's see. They are going to... They don't want to get near that damn bear, but the person they had standing next to it is now dead. So it looks like they're actually going to split up. Looks like four of them are going to head towards the bear, and 4 of them are going to move up sort of toward you guys and begin slinging stones.
Ooh, so they spotted us?
5, 10, 15,
Wait,
20.
they see us?
Kari attacked from the door.
Well, because Kari shot through the door. That's right.
Oh.
30. All right, so 2
Breaking
of them
plan.
actually, 2 of the group are going to dash and sprint up to get next to Kari, and then 2 of that other group are going to sling stones at her with advantage from their pack of tactics, thanks to their buddies. 1 second, though. All right, so we're going to have some attacks on Kari with advantage. It's going to be 1 hit. What's your armor class, Kari?
It is definitely 16.
That is only going to be 1 hit. But you will take
Okay.
3 points of bludgeoning damage from a sling stone. And
Okay.
we're going to have some attacks on the bear, I think. You know what? There's Kane. We're going to have some attacks on Kane. So they're going to run up and kind of surround him with daggers.
They run out into the hall?
They ran out into the hall. They're basically right at the door.
Okay.
Ooh, he is
Oh, so-
critically hit by the last.
Did they not attack the bear?
They did not go near the bear, no.
Scared of the
Okay.
bear, which makes
They were
sense.
terrified of the bear. All right, Kane takes
makes
a pretty
perfect sense.
sizable. Kane takes a pretty sizable stab, 8 points of damage, but he manages to defend himself against all of the other strikes. So that is going to put us at the dragon. The dragon glares at the body of Spensius bleeding on the stones, turns its face over toward the rest of you sort of gathered at the doors, and says, "You're too late. My ascendance is nigh." Beats its wings, takes to the air, flies up near the vaulted ceiling, sort of swoops low over the bear, and you can see this furnace blast of light and heat run up its long, snaking neck to its mouth, and it releases this swirling, thick, napalm-like blast of flame that engulfs Fluff and Stuff and seems to cling to its flesh.
Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Fluff and Stuff!
Please
Hey, Dex, you want to tell me what's on those 4 dice? You want to tell the people what's on those 4 dice right there?
6, 6, 6. 3 6s.
4 6s.
4 6s.
Max damage to fluff and stuff.
Oh, no!
Rip.
Rip Fluff and Press F
Oh,
to pay
no.
respects.
And it's like magma.
Alright. So there is a incandescent almost blast of light as this fire rolls out from the dragon over the bear, and this agonizing wail of just terrible pain that sort of chokes and dies. And as the flame just kind of rolls onto the ground, and it seems to skitter around, almost like when you see liquid nitrogen hit the floor and start boiling and dancing everywhere. That's what this fire is doing on the stones. And you can see just this blackened, shriveled, oily black smoke spewing remains that were once this bear. It is dead. And the dragon beats its wings and sort of swoops up back toward the ceiling and hovers there, creating this downdraft and 2 great swirling eddies of this smoke that blast off into the room. Glaz, your turn.
If I'm understanding their configuration correctly, we have 4 kobolds sort of by the door.
By the door, and you think you can get the 2 kobold slingers who were
That's what I was
flinging
thinking.
at you guys, but didn't quite
Can
go
I
very
center
far.
this so I can get the 6 of the kobolds?
Let me.
I'm trying to center it for 6 of them.
Let's see.
4 by the door, and then assuming there's 2 slingers somewhere back from our door, but within range.
You know,
Because it's 8
I'm gonna
squares.
say
It's
you can
40 feet
it's,
across.
It's pretty damn far. I'm gonna say you can even get 1 of the kobolds who are at the door, so you can get 7 of the 8.
Okay, so it's all about how big I roll here. Come on, sleep. So Glaz stands there and he looks down and he starts to concentrate, and he just does this really sort of resonant low note in his throat, almost like a lullaby, and sort of channels that sound down into the ground through his hands, trying to reflect off of the ley lines. I'm not going to risk channeling a ley line because I don't think it's very helpful on a sleep spell, and I don't want this to backfire on me. So
Fair enough.
he's just going to do it the way he knows, because that is a new thing, and this is critical. And almost
Go
like
ahead
tolling
and
of a
roll these
bell.
78s, and let's see how many hit points worth of dudes you put to sleep.
That's 20 hit points.
20 hit points. All right, so that is going to be 4 kobolds. So do you want? Does it specifically target ones closest to center first, or
It actually goes from lowest. It goes from lowest hit points to highest. So I don't know if they all have the same hit points. That's
they
probably
all
a
have the same
random.
hit points? So I'll let you choose. You get 4 of them.
I'm going to do the 4 by the door to clear a way for Riordan
Or
to
for
get
Kane?
for Kane to get in, because I think that probably we, especially with like Cloak and Riordan, can in his lashes, we probably can take care of these ones that are right in front of us, whereas Kane's on his own. So
Okay.
I'll take out the 4. I'll put the 4 by the door to sleep. Sort of stick with
All
the
right.
original plan.
All
Stick
4 of
with the
those
plan. That's what
kobolds-
you always do. Stick with the plan.
All 4 of those kobolds are sort of crouched and some kind of dancing from one foot to the other and scattering around Kane and trying to get around his guard. And one by one, they all just sort of stop, blink, drop their daggers, and collapse. So they are all 4 asleep. Laz, Spencius. All right. Cloak, your turn, sir.
How dead is the bear? If I'm
Incredibly dead.
able to get to the bear, like 3 death saving throws, dead.
Dead. Yeah.
Okay, dead.
Yep.
He would be, and we have fucking 4 kobolds in front of us right now.
You have 2 kobolds in front of you.
2 kobolds in front of you.
Yeah, 2 in
I'm going
slingshot
to-
range.
I'm gonna attack one of them. That's in front of me.
Get him.
But and let's do the roll so I look cool when I do this. 21.
21.
So this will be 1d8 plus 4, so 7 damage, 7 hit points. Is he done so?
What's your intention? You're going to try and kind of keep moving through the room, or?
Well, I want to kill him. Does he die when I stab him? Okay.
Yeah.
So, as like Cloak would just walk up nonchalant, like Cloak is like changed, like his face, like is just very nonchalant, and he walks up, very plain as day, grabs the kobold as by the shoulder, which throws it off, and he just stabs it in the chest, and he's like,
Carl, we have to kill that dragon.
and he like twists it, and then like drops the thing on the ground, and then he looks at the other kobolds like dead, like murder stare, like at everyone, yeah, that's what he's doing this round, and also taking like some sort of cover just in case a dragon shows up to breathe fire on everyone.
Did you want Puff Puff to go and do anything?
No.
Okay. Then she will hang back.
He would because he would like give her a look, and she probably is just like in a sad dog mode, like backing out of this room to the other room.
All right. So are you standing just still kind of in the doorway where you dropped the kobold, or were you moving anywhere else?
The dwarf. Stick with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to the dwarf and be over by the anvil.
Okay. As you approach, she has her face is kind of drained of color, but you can see that perspiration is sort of coursing down it from the heat in this room. And she looks up at you, and her eyes are wide with fear, but she relaxes when she realizes that you're neither a kobold nor one of those bandits that she's seen everywhere. So you're over by her and kind of like taking cover behind the anvil?
Taking cover, and like, can I, as a bonus action, hand her a potion?
You can, as part of your move, dig a potion out and pass it off to her.
Okay. That's what I'm doing. Okay.
Alrighty. Then she will uncork the potion and drink it. It was just a regular healing, I believe, yes?
Yeah, that's all we have.
That's a pretty good roll, though. All right, so you hear a pop, and you see her shoulder kind of visibly back up into socket, and she sighs with relief, and color flushes back to her cheeks.
Yeah, and he's like, and Cloak would just like look at her. Yeah, what was she gonna say?
She says, "Thank you."
Thank me when we get out of here. Go, down.
She nods and kind of scrambles to her feet and sprints toward the door. Let's see if she can make it out in one go.
Front door.
Almost. Your door is closer.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know, she probably has to spend half speed to get up, so she's basically just going to move to take cover behind the anvil from the dragon, along with Cloak.
Okay.
All right. She can't make it to the door this turn. So that's going to be Paula. Top of the order is going to be Kane. Well, he heard you say we need to kill the dragon, probably. So I think he's going to probably take a shot at the dragon.
I didn't yell it. He said it very calmly, and like it's very like out of character of Cloak, because Cloak's very loud and always cracking jokes. But this was a very serious,
So
he said this to Kari standing next to him.
We'll have him stick with the plan. So he's going to shoot one of these slinger kobolds, and he puts an arrow through the back of its head, and it collapses down to the ground, twitching. So that's going to be Kari. Your turn.
I am going to use my other D20 on the dragon and shoot it. Agreeing
crit the dragon?
completely. I'm going to crit the dragon.
All right.
Because I completely agree with Cloak. That is 3 plus 2 is 5, and 6 plus 2 is 8. Aha. 13?
You only had the +2 once.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. 6, 9, 11.
All right. The dragon snarls as the arrow sort of embeds into its scales, and then watches as the shaft catches fire and burns.
Marking my ammo
Alright.
off my character sheet, and that will be my turn.
So are you still in the doorway?
I was just considering that, actually. I was going to ask who was in front of me in the doorway, but...
I should probably right behind you.
There is a second kobold kind of to the side of the doorway, which probably should have, I forgot about it, but that's fine. But keep in mind that there is a second kobold kind of off to the side of the doorway, and he has now sort of regained his senses from what just went down.
Shooting the dragon, I think I would want to move back behind the wall.
Fair enough.
And wait to be
You
able
can
to
kinda
pop
duck
out
back.
again. Yeah.
Wait. All right. No problem. It's Kari. Riodan, your turn, sir.
All right. Let's see here. How many kobolds in front of me right now?
One next to the door, and then another one trying to shoot you with arrows from a little farther into the room.
Am I close enough to healing words as a bonus action, our dwarven friend?
If you get up in the doorway, yeah. Although you did see
Okay.
her just drink a potion of healing, and she looks none the worse for wear now.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to shoot the kobold who's going to try and shoot at me as I move up into the doorway, and take a pot shot. Oh, in fact,
Going with the tentacle rod or the...
I think the tentacle rod, if I can get in range, yeah.
Oh yeah, 15 feet easily.
15 feet, yeah. Okay, so that is a 14, a 16, and an 11 to hit.
That will be 2 hits. Sorry, 2 hits.
Awesome.
So 2d6. 2d6 damage.
Almost a hat trick.
Yeah, can you do one on each?
If I can, yeah. Can I do that? Let me read the
Sure.
description.
Do they all be on the same target?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Ha 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 ha!
Then I'll
that'd be-
attack separately. Yeah, different
Sure.
tentacles
So you
for
can
different.
put one blood lash into each one.
Awesome. So the first one will take 3 points, and the second one will take 3 points as well.
All right, so they both take 3 points of damage. They are both badly wounded, and you can see blood streaming from the. Good night, buddy. Have a good one. Good night.
Is there no pluses to the tentacle whip?
There are
I'm just
not.
curious.
But if all
Okay.
3 hit, then it jacks people up. Right, go on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Go on, unicorn face. Go away.
I thought that was a plague
All right.
doctor for a second.
Yeah. All right, so that's kobolds. We have 2 nasty bleeding kobolds in front of you. So one is going to... the other one is going to move up, and they're both going to stab at Riodan with their daggers.
No, bastards.
That's only a 13.
That's gonna do it, I'm afraid.
Sorry, it was a 14 anyway. But all right, so that's 1 hit. And the second one will in fact miss. That will get turned aside by your armor. But you will take 4 points of piercing damage from one of these daggers.
Ouch. Okay, noted.
Yep. And that is going to be it because, let's see, dead, asleep. Yep, that's it for the kobolds. They are snoring. Kobolds. The dragon. Let's see if his breath recharges. Interesting. All right. So at this
Was that
point,
a good interesting or a bad interesting?
we will see.
We don't know.
it's a
Let's see.
fine.
Kane has a bow drawn, so he is going to dive at Kane with his maw sort of gaping open and this blazing napalm-like fire sort of running down his jaws like drool. And he snaps his jaws at Kane and is going to hit him. And he's going to deal some piercing and fire damage to him.
Oh no.
Ow. Quite a bit of damage, actually. Does anybody know Kane's hit points off the top of your head?
No.
I do not. I can look them up.
Because I don't know if you guys have access to his character sheet.
I'm
Whoever's
trying to
the
find it
DM
right
can
now.
open his sheet.
Yeah, I think I can.
Is-
let me look.
is there a
I got
roll
it.
21?
His
I'm
hit
looking-
points are
I'm-
16.
His hit points are 16.
AC
Wow.
is 14.
All right. There is a horrible snapping and burning sound, and you can hear this strange hollow of pain that seems to come from Whisper, the owl, and Kane hits the floor. He is dying.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
And the dragon sort of peels away with this deep guttural laugh and flies back up into the chamber and circles over the blazing portal. Glaz, your turn.
Stick with the plan, stick with the plan, stick with the plan. So does Glaz have line of sight on, because I think Riodan, I don't know whether Riodan, did you get in front of me or are you still behind me?
When
you went to shoot the bar with your,
whenever I got my tentacle
lash.
out, I imagine I got in front of you so as not to get you in the tentacles.
Yeah. So does Glaz have line of sight sort of through the door at the dragon? Can he, or is he too high in the room?
The dragon is about 25 feet up at this point, so you'll have to push past Riodan into the chamber to get a good look at the dragon.
And that's going to put me right there with the kobolds.
Yes.
Is there a way? Is there a way that Glaz is going to be able to get past the kobolds without getting within their reach from? I mean,
no.
Okay.
I mean, they're basically on either side of the doorway. So you can put yourself into the midst of them. There's space in between them. But
okay, then I'm going to do something, but not stick with the plan. It's an action to drink a potion, yes?
It is an action to drink a potion, yeah. Or to feed it to someone.
Glaz is going to drink the potion of heroism that we got.
Ooh, nice.
And run past the kobolds, trying to only invoke one opportunity attack, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm going to get both.
Since they're kind of flanking the door, there's really no way to do that. If you're going to move out away from the door, they're both going to get to strike at you.
Okay, and I'm going to have to...
You kind of, yeah, no, there's really no way to do it.
Yeah, because otherwise my spell's going to have disadvantage because range spell with people in melee has disadvantage, right?
Yes.
So he drank this to have the extra hit points to take what he might have to take. So he drinks his heroism potion.
All right, so you feel this this surge run through your veins, and I believe you have 10 temporary hit points, and you are now blessed for the next hour.
So does my blessings? Do my blessings stack?
They do not.
I do not. So, and he's going to run through the door and sort of run down here to the corner, to the southwest corner. In order to get a, take cover behind the, get behind the anvil and get ready to cast a spell next time. After drinking the potion, do I have enough time to decide whether this cistern is filled with water or oil?
As you get close to it, you can easily take a look. Yeah.
Do you want to do your attacks first?
Oh yeah, sure. So as you dart past the kobolds, they're both going to try to stab you. Oof! One is going to get you with a 22.
Yeah.
And the other one's going to get you as well. So that's two kobold stabs. So you're going to take 3 and 5 for a total of 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
Doesn't manage to break your temporary hit points.
Yep. And then run down here, see whether it's water or oil.
As you get close, you can look into one of the cisterns. It looks like it's filled with water.
Is it big enough for Glaz to get into?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Glaz jumps into it, thinking that being in water in case napalm comes at him maybe will help.
Being immersed in water might help. We will see if you have to deal with any fire.
Or you're gonna boil alive,
Yeah.
Steam. Because it burns worse than fire.
When you jump into the water, even though this room is swelteringly hot, the water is very, very cool.
It's magic water. Hey, it does magic water, everybody.
Are you yelling that
as you get into it? You might expect. You might expect that
Glaz is excited.
Fetid or nasty or putrid. It's not. It's clean, clear, and very, very cool. All right.
Hey, the water is fine. The water is fine. Jump right in. And
Oof. That's not good. Cloak, your turn, sir.
So I hear Glass talking about how the water is cool, which piques Cloak's interest. So he would turn to the dwarven lady who's about to bolt out the door.
He said, how do we put that out? Real quick, tell me.
She'll say, I can do it, but it takes time.
How long? What do you have to do?
She says, too long. And that's about all you can do as far as talking back and forth on your turn.
Okay.
the plan went south. I was gonna say, yeah, I don't know whether you have my quarterstaff or not to give to her. I mean, we talked about it, but also the plan didn't have time. We were like all sitting there, and it went early. So
it went ham really quick. So am I able to attack one of the kobolds that are hanging out by the door and getting back behind the anvil for cover?
Let's see, you're behind the M510. Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, you can dart up, attack one of the kobolds, and then if you want to, fade back to the anvil for cover, yeah.
Or can I do the same thing as Glass is doing and jump in one of the pots?
Yep.
Because Glass is smart, and so that's what I want to do. So I'm going to attack. Let's do this attack.
Okay.
16.
Oh, that totally hits a kobold.
All right. 7 damage.
All right, so you sort of dart forward. The saber lashes out from under Cloak's red cloak, and you see the kobold stiffen, and its head starts to loll to the left, and its body falls to the right.
Nap time, and then he runs into the the water pot.
Yeah, so you have just enough speed to kind of jump up, grab the lip of the cistern, and pull yourself in. For you might actually have to tread water to keep your head above water.
Okay.
You're pretty short, and it's big. It's like almost 55-gallon drum sized.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'm able to get out though if I need to.
Oh yeah. Totally. I'm just giving you a sense of the scale, and like the one Glaz is in, the water is very cool and clear, and like it doesn't have any nastiness floating in it, any of that.
Does it seem magical in nature? Real quick.
I mean, given the fact that it's remaining cool in this blast furnace, and everything else in this place shows sign of just centuries of wear and neglect, you seem like there's probably something magical at work here, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Right, so that's Cloak. We're gonna have Puff stay back basically, unless you call for her. Paula is going to dart forward, scoop up one of the fallen daggers from the kobold, and drive it into the surviving kobold's ear, which she does successfully. She grabs it and just rams the blade into the side of the little draconic head with her, and you can see her now. She's not wearing like long sleeves or anything like that. Her arms are just thick slabs of beef with burn scars and cuts, and she just drives the blade right in, and you hear the crunch of bone shattering, and she kicks it out of the way and runs into the side room with you guys. She makes eye contact with Riodan for a moment, and there's a kind of a moment of recognition and, huh?
Hello. Got a job to finish.
So, Kane is going to make a death saving throw. He passes. That's one success.
Stay at it, boy.
You know what? All right. So, just about the same time this is happening, Glaz, you hear that sudden screeching surge in the Song of the Ley Line again that stabs through your mind, and you all hear Glaz kind of wince in pain, just in time to feel this blistering wave of heat burst from the portal, and you can see the flames now turning this bluish color. The red and orange is being overtaken by blue, and that ring is starting to swirl. I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw, please. DC 10.
Even if we're in the water?
I will give you... I'll give you advantage in the water.
Okay.
I'm behind a wall, so I'm assuming still yes.
Yeah, if you're not in the room, if you're not in the Great Forge or at the open door, then you're fine. So basically, Glaz and Cloak can roll with advantage because of their water, and Riodan and Kane will have to make rolls.
I rolled a
Kane will
17.
pass. You pass.
Cool. Whew.
You're
Nice.
muted, Glaz.
12 for Glaz, even with advantage.
Pass. Yep, 10 or better. Ooh. Okay, so the how did Cloak do?
I got 19.
Oh, perfect. All right, so the heat rolls over you, and you can feel it kind of blister and prickle your skin, and the ends of your hair might even start to curl in the massive heat. But it doesn't give you any other adverse effects. The dragon seems to revel in this sudden burst of fire and heat that fills the room. Kari, your turn.
So you said the space between the anvils was 10 feet, so it'd be 10, 20, 30 feet from the door. I'm trying to see, how far away is Kane from me?
Kane is at the double doors.
That is far ass. I cannot get to you.
You could take the back way, but it might take a long time.
But it would take so long. That's my thing. I was thinking that maybe I could misty step across and then run through the double doors, but then the dragon's just gonna probably scratch me in my back. All the kobolds are dead, right?
Yes, the kobolds are all dead or sleeping. Yep. So I think what you could do, Kari, is you could run to the south corner anvil there, and that's casting shadows from the furnace. And you could step into that shadow, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Ooh, no, not quite, huh?
Yeah, but the misty step is not quite far enough.
Right, you can't quite get close enough to get out into the hallway where you know there are shadows that you can see. But, yeah.
No, I'm going to shoot the dragon with my bless then, because that is, when we kill everything, then I can save him. So that's a +4 modifier, right?
Yep.
Well, you roll a d4.
Okay. Roll a d4. Okay, so there's the attack, and it's a critical fail, so it doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter.
Oh, all right. So it sort of bats the arrow away with its wing harmlessly into the side there.
I'm going to hide behind
Did you
the
want to
wall
move
again.
anywhere? Did you want to back into the?
Every single time, it's just assume unless I say otherwise, it's going to be a boop 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 boop.
All right. So the problem here. Oh, that's right. You're still in the armory, aren't you? Because of where the dragon is, you actually can't see it from in the hallway, but I think you can push past Riodan and back. You can basically push past Riodan, but then you end up right behind him. You don't have enough speed to get back behind the wall because you have to push through him and then back, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So you're basically right behind Riodan in the doorway alcove there. Next is Riodan. You can see Kane's crumpled form bleeding in the doorway.
Yes, I was just thinking that. Am I able to get close to him?
Well, let's see. You can get almost to the door with a single move, but that kind of puts you in the open. So if you wanted to dash...
I want to get close enough to just bonus action healing word him, really. I can see him, right?
Yeah, you just need to get within 30 feet of him, which actually you can do with a single move.
Okay, yeah, I will move towards him, and I will use my
healing word.
Bonus action healing word.
All right.
You try.
So you call down a holy word of Marena. Give me a d4 plus wisdom modifier.
Let's do that. For 7 points of damage. Hey.
All right. So you hear a gasp of pain and surprise as Kane's eyes snap open as the positive energy washes over him.
There you go.
So he is conscious. You have an action remaining. Would you like to use your action? Because you're kind of standing in the middle of the room right now.
Let's do that. That's tentacle. Oh wait, let's use my action to dash back away from this because I don't want to be in the middle of a room of a dragon. So I'm gonna kind of scoot in and then whoop, scoop
So
out
do you want to
again.
dash back to where you came from, or kind of forward around the main doorway where Kane is?
I
You're
think
actually
back
closer
to
to
where
the
I
main
came from.
doorway at this point.
Oh, okay, yeah. If I'm close to the main door, I'll head back that way. So sort of like.
All right, so and then you can kind of duck around the corner to get cover from
Right,
the dragon.
right.
It'd actually have to come out into the hallway to threaten you at that point.
Cool.
All right, so you can see once you dart out there, you kind of just hug the wall and whip around into the into the corner of the hallway there. You can see the that Kane's owl is sort of pressed itself into the far corner opposite you and is staring intently at Kane's body. All right.
Interesting.
Ryoda and kobolds continue to snore. The Dargan. All right. So the dragon beats its wings and dives forward toward Glaz.
I have done
And
nothing to
it's,
you. Why are you mad at me?
30. So it's basically right above you, Glaz, and drives its giant jaws down towards your face.
Can it get through the top? The barrel?
So you manage to kind of duck down into the barrel, and it bites down, and you hear the screeching and grinding of stone, and it actually takes a chunk out of the top of the cistern's lip as it tears it away, and you see some of that molten, that almost liquid fire sort of pour down onto the stone and drip into the water, and then solidifies into this almost charcoal-like blob that sinks down to the bottom of the cistern. And it narrowly misses you and beats its wings again and flies up toward the ceiling.
Did the water look like it have a good effect on it?
It looked like it snuffed the flames.
Is it able? Oh, so.
All right, so he's
next?
back up in the air toward the ceiling, maybe 20 feet along the wall toward the double doors from Glaz, but way up at the ceiling.
Okay.
All right, so that's the dragon. Glaz, your turn, sir.
So, quick question. With this surge of the ley line, is Glaz able to determine, is this still as though it's a weak ley line, or is this now like opened up and is now like a strong ley line? Like, has the strength of the ley line increased?
It's definitely still a weak ley line, but you suspect its effects are no longer locked.
Right.
So if you draw on it to your magic, it would have a more unpredictable effect, and that is entirely possible that it could surge extra power into what you're doing.
Okay. Stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. So, Glaz, I'm going to, if you allow me to do it, Glaz is going to channel the ley line.
Okay.
Instead of rolling for the check, I would like to use a nat 20.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to mess up on the check, and so then I roll a d10 to see what it does.
You roll a d10 to see what it does. And if you have your hero's handbook,
Yep, I got it right here. Creature damaged by your spell is also a creature damaged by your spell is also knocked prone unless it makes a successful strength saving throw. I don't know what that means to a flying dragon.
That's really bad to a flying creature. So, what spell are you casting at it?
Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my other nat 20 to shoot Witchblade at it. And I'd love to theme it that as basically as he pulls away with his mouth, that I just shoot this thing right up into his jaws.
All right. So yeah, you hold your hand out, sort of like palm and fingers down over the ground, and you can feel the ley energy flowing out of this portal and pulsing and just saturating the stones of the room. And you tap into that energy and then reverse it. And this bluish purple arc of energy blasts down from Glaz's fingers into the stones, snakes along the wall, and then bursts out into the dragon's face. So that'll be a critical hit. Go ahead and give me 2d12 lightning damage.
I rolled a 2 and a 4, so it's 6.
6. All right, 6 lightning damage.
Yeah.
The dragon screams in pain and rage and has to make a strength saving throw. Is that right?
Yep, strength saving throw.
What is your... I believe it's your save DC is the DC of all the saving throws, right?
Come on,
yes.
Glass.
And my
Glass.
save DC, it's only a 12.
A 12.
It's okay. Better than a 10.
We need to work
All
on
right.
boosting your intelligence.
So the dragon, as the lightning arcs into it, begins to convulse and it loses control of its wings. It spirals down and crashes into the stones. When you knock the flying creature prone, it
My
falls.
friends!
So he's going to take a bit of falling damage. A little bit, but a little bit helps, right? You hear just a bone-crunching thump as it falls to the stones, and it kind of twitches there as the energy arcs through its body. That was Glaz. You want to move anywhere, or are you good where you are?
Oh, I duck back down into the barrel.
Cloak, your turn.
My friends. Glug, 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 glug.
How far away is this dragon from me?
From you, let's see, you're behind the northern anvil, is that right?
No, I'm in the water pot
You're
to
in
the
barrel.
north. Across from-
Okay, so
Yeah.
so the dragon is essentially in the 10-foot square catty corner to the front door, if that makes sense.
Oh,
So
okay.
is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If you could go 30 feet, you'd be in range. Yeah, let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. No, yeah, 20.
There's something I want to try, and it might
Sure.
seem crazy, and I kind of want to bring it up to the group. I'm going to fill my bag full of water, my backpack, and run up to the fire and dump it on it.
On like the fire on the top of the dais.
Yes.
Ooh, kill the dragon.
I would say it looks like intensely like magical, crazy, weird, not normal fire. I can tell you that.
But I thought this was magical water, so that's where I kind of had the
Oh,
idea
okay.
from. Because
you
this
have no
water is I have no
Yeah, you
idea.
have-
Okay, but
yeah, you
I
have
can
no
make
idea.
it to the dragon and stab it.
You could probably make it to the dragon and stab it if you didn't have to climb over the lip of the cistern. So I'll let you do that. I'll let you not spend speed to climb out if you can make a successful athletics check.
Okay.
Go, Cloak.
Athletics.
Yeah, because and also if I think about it narratively, Cloak would go after the dragon.
Okay.
All right, plus 1. Here we go. 17.
Ooh, that'll pass. That'll do it.
All right.
So I'll say you can basically kind of vault. You like sort of flip over the edge of the cistern and use that momentum to carry you forward and sprint between the two anvils toward the prone dragon.
Okay. My sword wet with this magical water. I just want to see if this fucking does something. I'm fucking stabbing the prone fucking dragon. Is there an advantage when is something prone and you're attacking it melee?
You have advantage when you're next to it, yeah.
And it's disadvantage if you're using melee. All my
It's
D&D.
disadvantage if you're farther than 5 feet away.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go. A 19.
19 will get him. You slash into his scales and you see a few of them shatter.
All right, so this would be 9 damage.
Ow.
And he's not saying he doesn't have one line. He's just like stabbing into its thing and hopefully fucking it up, and then getting ready for its like movement.
Okay, so yeah, you just got a good piece of it. That's cloak. Whatever for. There is another sudden burst of flame from the portal, and you can see that bluish color is now overtaking more of it, and the sound and heat is beginning to intensify, and this roaring is starting to drown out other noise in this room. I need everybody in the room to make another Constitution saving throw, please. DC 10.
Still, if I'm in the water, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you have an advantage.
Okay.
And if
Do I have
not in the room,
advantage from?
right?
Sorry.
Do I have advantage if I'm wet? My cloak is wet.
No, not anymore.
God damn it! I tried.
Glaz got
Shit.
a 22.
I got a 6.
A 6. All right. Kane rolled a 2. So Kane and Cloak, the heat is becoming unbearable, and you can feel your body temperature starting to rise uncomfortably in response to it, and your head starts to swim a little. You guys have 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay. What's that
So
mean?
the effect of that is you have disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay. So does that mean like attack rolls or just saving throws?
No, just ability checks.
Oh,
Not even
wait. Hold on.
Not even
Hold on. I have bless.
You should
Damn
roll a
it.
d4 and add it.
I did.
Yeah.
It's a 9. I mean, it was a 9. It was so close, but yeah.
All right, yeah. So no, you have disadvantage on ability checks. So if you ever need to make like strength or dexterity checks or skill checks, those sorts of things.
Okay.
Not so
Attack rolls and
99.
saving throws are not impaired.
Okay.
That is going to bring us up to Kane. So Kane, kind of gasping in the heat, will grab his bow and roll to his feet. You can see the dragons on the ground, though. He does not want to get close to that dragon right now, him and his massive 7 hit points. So he's going to scoot back, take some cover behind the wall, and take a shot at it, even though he's going to be at disadvantage.
It's a good shot.
Kane knows cure wounds, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's going to drop a cure wounds into himself.
I want to say he knows
yeah.
that. He knows that
He's
and
good.
another rangered spell, not Hunter's Mark, though.
Right. He rolls very well. So Kane, following that spell, looks like he has shrugged off the near deadly injuries that he had just sustained, and he kind of breathes an easy breath for the first time since this battle began. That is Kane. So that moves us to Kari.
I'm going to shoot at the dragon again, moving out
So you'll
from where
actually have
I
to
was
move
waiting.
into the room at
Yep.
this point, because the anvil is between you and the dragon, and where it is and how big the anvil is actually going to provide it total cover.
5, 10, 15,
You'll actually have to
20,
move like
25.
basically like
30.
up next to the anvil, and you can shoot it.
Okay.
And you
Awesome.
will have you'll have disadvantage because it's prone.
Okay. Whoa, that is not what I meant to grab at all. My bad. 12.
A 12, no. The arrow just kind of clatters off of its formidable hide.
Kari curses.
Riodan, your turn, sir.
Okay. Is there still kobolds around this corner if I pick my head around?
They're kind of lying scattered on the floor, but yeah.
Well, the dragon's still up in the air.
No, the
On the
dragon's
ground.
on the ground.
Prone.
Oh, on the ground. Sorry.
Melee attack.
I'm gonna-
attack.
I'll just remind you guys that there is still arcs of lightning linking between Glaz's hands through the wall and blasting into the dragon.
Yeah, I'm going to run up with my, if I can get close enough to it, with my tentacle sword to give it a
Absolutely
flanking.
can. All right, so if you get
All right,
right up
then.
next to it, you will have advantage.
We have
on it.
advantage.
Is
We have
it ranged
advantage.
attacks? Hang on, are they ranged attacks or melee?
Let me check for you.
Let's double check that real quick.
I think they have reach, is what it was.
If it's reach, then we'll be good.
Let me look at the Sanguine Lash.
There should be a reach.
Yep, it's a melee attack with reach.
Rods.
Okay.
So if you get
so
next
one
to it,
hit.
you'll have advantage on these if you get up next to it.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
Okay.
For
The
a
AC of the dragon is 17.
that is a total of 3 hits, which makes a
You got
special
three.
thing
You got
happen.
three.
which means that it can roll me a DC 15 con save.
All right, he will pass that handily. He rolls an 18 on the die.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Cool things would have happened. Unless
Yeah,
I
so you
still
can see
deal...
the lashes kind of wrap around it and dig in with these solidified blood barbs, and you can see it trying to pull the blood out of him, but he kind of snarls, and they sort of evaporate off and then reform as they lash back to your handle. How much damage total?
6 points of damage in total.
Ouch. All right. Dragon. Well, so let's see. We've got Riodan behind him. Cloak next to him, and then Kari. Where did you end up?
I ended up beside the anvil.
Beside the anvil. All right. Then bleeding profusely, and its breath coming in these, like, you know the sound of when you bellows a fire or a forge? That's what it sounds like when this thing breathes.
No, I will not be laid low here. Not by you. Die!
And I need a dexterity saving throw from Cloak and Kari.
And this is a disadvantage.
What's that?
I'm gonna crit. I'm gonna crit my roll.
Just gonna spend a 20? All right, that's a good time for it.
I can't use my channel divinity to give me a +10 on this, can I? Instantly, or am I?
Believe it's on checks, not saving throws.
Fuck! That's a crit! No, it's not.
Oh my god!
It's not in the thing.
Oh, you missed the tray.
If you roll the 20 but miss the box, I'm comfortable with it. I trust you guys.
Okay, I was
believe
just
you.
so heartbroken right now.
I believe you.
It was
I
all the
believe you.
chat part of it.
Worst
You're a
D&D
pretty good actress,
player.
Tia, but you're not that good of an actress for that not to have been real.
All right, so
I'm like tearing up. I'm like, no, please.
that is thankfully a much worse roll than the one with which I incinerated Fluff and stuff. After your successful saving throws, that will be 10 fire damage.
All right.
I am successful. Is a total of 10 fire damage?
Oh yeah, it would have been 20 if you failed.
I'm down.
Oof. All right, Kari's down. Cloak, you still up?
Yeah. I'm bloody. I'm exactly. I had 20 hit points. So.
Right. So yeah, your mask is maybe like cracked at the corner, and you can feel around your eyes. Your skin has begun to blister from this heat and this almost living flame trying to curl around your mask and get inside your armor. Kari shrieks in agony, and you hear her body drop to the ground behind you, and you can smell the smell that's like almost smells like cooked meat.
Oh,
and
smells like Chinese food.
The dragon,
like sulfur.
The dragon flips itself up to its feet and is going to take wing. So if you like, you can take an opportunity attack.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I am. Oh fuck yeah, bud.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, I should take a attack of opportunity.
Riodan, you can't use the like lashy ability of your thing, but you can attack with it as a scourge. Yeah.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
No advantage on that.
Oh shit. Well, luckily I rolled. What the fuck?
That one.
They were both 9s, so
it was. They were both 9s anyway, so it was 13.
Okay, that's fine. Did you remember your bless?
Oh shit! Hold on.
Oh, it might make it.
It's
16.
16.
16 misses by 1.
This is the blue balls of blessing.
All right, so now
Sorry,
here's for the sad part. It's going to fly 30 feet back, which is going to move it out of range of you, Blaz, and the tether of lightning breaks, ending your spell.
Oh,
yeah. Double check me on that. It is 30-foot range on Witch Bolt,
it is
right?
30-foot range.
Yeah, and I believe if it moves out of range, the spell ends.
Is ever outside the spell's range or has total cover from you. Yep.
There we go. All right, so that is the Dargan. Glaz, your turn.
Damn it. I am worried that fire might heal it or something, so I am going to cast Shield Touch on it.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to try to channel the ley line again before I do that.
All right. Are you gonna make the check or burn an auto?
Check. I'm out of 20s, so I need to.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Do I can keep it be the 9? If I don't change, or do I have to check every time?
No, you have to check every time you cast a spell.
Yeah. So I need to do the check.
Yeah.
Should I risk it, guys? Might knock
Risk
him
it
out
for
of the
the
sky
biscuit.
again.
It's a DC 10
Biscuit
for a cantrip.
the biscuit. Biscuit
Yeah,
for
but
the
it's just
biscuit.
a DC 10,
Oh.
and I've got Bless.
Okay.
Bless works on it, right?
It does. It's
Is a
no.
saving throw?
No. It's not a saving throw. It's not a saving throw.
Cool.
What will it be, Glaz?
D&D. Let's roll the dice.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's an 8.
That's an 8. All right. So you
It's not by
reach out,
five. It has
reach
to be by
out to the
five for me.
massive flows of energy coursing through you through your bond to this ley line, and you sort of grab a hold of it, but you can't shape it. And another of those surges of power rushes through the line, and a belch of these cinders that begin flying around the room, almost like fireflies, but they're little specks of living flame, and it kind of stings your eyes and the side of your face, and you lose your concentration on it and aren't able to channel it successfully. But you can still cast your spell. You didn't backlash or anything.
So, and I'm going to use my Bless. Come on. 15. It misses.
15, no good. It basically bites through this spectral version of your hand that rises up out of the ground at it and dissipates it.
Damn you.
Cloak, your turn, sir.
He would take this opportunity
Ragged
to put
thing behind.
put his hand over Kari's face like this and cast Cure Wounds. And as she wakes up, and he's like, "We're even," and then jump over her and then hide behind this anvil, taking cover.
The top anvil or the one you're right next to?
The one I moved Cloak up to, the top anvil up there. So she's gonna.
Remember that I'm not on fantasy grounds.
Oh, okay.
Right. The northwestern anvil. He's on the west side of the northwestern anvil.
All right, so you lay your hand on Kari's face, and those
For
glowy
3 hit points.
spectral green vines snake their way onto her head and give her 3 hit points back. And then you hightail it behind some massive iron hard cover. Kari, you're awake, and everything hurts.
And I'm casting Cure Wounds on myself.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh no.
All right. So yet again, there is another sudden burst of flame from the portal. I need everybody who's in the Great Forge to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's me again.
Uh-oh. Guys.
Oh, spaghetti!
Hey.
16?
I'm in the dice box.
Granby or Bless?
16. You're good.
I failed.
Plus,
Oh yeah. Oh, and Bless. Hold on, but I'm good anyway. So.
Yeah, you're good anyway.
Okay.
DC is 10.
Yep.
Anybody fail?
Glaz is on a 16.
Okay.
I rolled an 8.
With your bless?
And you're not.
Bless.
Are you
I'm not
blessed?
blessed.
Oh, you're not blessed.
You're not
Oh,
blessed.
yeah.
All right. So the heat is starting to just oppressively bear down on you. You're not from this climate. What is this overheating business? Why does anyone do this? You're not sure, but you're starting to feel the weight of your armor pulling down on you, and you have a 1 level of exhaustion.
Ooh.
Kane is going to duck out and take a shot at the dragon.
Come on, Kane.
And he will hit it. Or wrong die. Roll the right die, please. Oh my god. Damage, and it hurts. All right, so the arrow whizzes through the air and tears through one of the dragon's luminous wing membranes, and it begins to drip this this bright orange, almost looks like molten metal blood.
T1000.
Kari,
Did
your
we
turn.
take another 10? We didn't take 10 damage from that? Okay.
No, no,
It was exhaustion.
damage.
Level of exhaustion.
Sorry, Kari, did you fail the DC 10 con save?
No, I made it. Okay.
You made it. All right, so you avoided taking exhaustion. The heat from the portal is beginning to cause you to suffer basically heat stroke.
Is drinking a potion a full action, or
It is indeed an action.
fuck? I'm gonna drink the healing potion.
Okay.
It's 1d8
That is
for
2d4.
the ones that we
2d4 plus 2.
2d4 is a grand total of 4 plus that is 6. Okay. Yeah,
Nice.
getting there.
All right.
And I will try to hide behind the anvil, maybe, from
So
the
you
dragon?
can scoop up your fallen bow and you can move around behind the anvil, but you don't have an action left to hide. You can certainly move behind it.
I'm going to move behind it, but yeah. Okay, that will
And
be...
if you had any mind to, remember that when you're on the opposite side of the anvil from the portal, the dais, you are in shadow.
That is true. So I still have a bonus action
I guess.
for my...
Keep that in mind if you decide you ever want to use it.
Yes. Okay. That is my turn then.
Good for now? All right. So that's going to be Riodan. Your turn, sir.
Oh dear. How's Carrie looking now that she's gone back up and healed? Alright, Carrie, take a bonus action healing word. Which is for 7 points. Man, I'm on fire today.
Nice.
7
Man,
extra hit points.
I'm good.
And
So you hear
Dragon's
the
still
name.
up above me. Sorry, go ahead.
What's that? Yeah, the dragon is not above you. It's up near the ceiling. It's about 10 feet off the ground, and it's at the other side of the chamber. So at this point, it's basically just in front of the other anvil, across the way, on the
Okay.
other side of the double doors. Right, Kari. So with the name of Marena on his lips, you can feel this surge of positive energy swell through your body, and you feel your skin grow supple again, and a bunch of that burnt, blistered horribleness just sort of sloughs off, revealing healthy skin beneath.
Magic.
So that's Riodan. Did you want to move anywhere or take an action?
Yeah. I can't reach it right now with my tentacle attacks, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like if you're sort of on the left side of the double doors doorway.
Okay.
If you step 5 feet to the right, you can reach it with the tentacles.
Okay, let's do that. Gonna move 5 feet to the right, and it's spank up the tentacles for
All right.
a 12, a 27, and a 13.
One hit.
2 hits? Oh, 1 hit. 5 points of damage.
Ow! It hurts.
Hey,
I've got like the
points is
barrel of
5
whip
points.
right now.
The dragon. Alrighty.
Oh, and then I'm gonna move out of this room back around the corner.
Sure. So you're gonna go
what
back
I'm
out into the hallway, kind of around
Yep,
the way
just
there.
gonna whoop, dive back in. I'll be right back. Also.
All right. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. Glaz is in the
barrel.
The water. Yeah. He did not like that spell at all, so he is going to drive himself like a comet, trailing smoke and ash behind him from his bleeding wounds toward that cistern, and just rakes it with a horrible, roiling gout of flame. Laz, go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Do I get advantage because I'm in the barrel?
You do not get advantage against this, but you know what? I'll give you some cover, so you have a +2 bonus to your saving throw.
+2 bonus.
Yeah, just a +2 bonus.
Okay.
You can
and
do
this
it,
is a
Glass.
dexterity saving throw, and I don't have any nat 20s left. Or do I? Well, do I have a nat 20 left?
You maybe have
I
one.
see.
You do have one.
Yeah, I'm going to use it.
I've heard like clinking sounds. If people been donating, you might have gotten a new one. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. In that case, I will.
Okay. All
I will
right.
use
So
it.
you burn your nat 20, and you see him coming. You can see the intent in its draconic eyes that are just this sort of blazing yellow firelight inside of these blackened sockets. So you know what's about to happen. You just take a breath and duck under the water.
Glass to hold his nose, and he's like blowing out the whole time like like a little kid.
So that would be 29. You succeeded on your saving throw. So that is a 14. You are immersed in water, which gives you resistance to fire damage, which is 7. Whew. So this horrible living flame scorches the side of this cistern, and it kind of rounds off the jagged edges where it bit the lip off, and it just kind of melts the very sharp corners down to rounded and softer. And the water begins to sort of, it doesn't really boil, but it just kind of flash steams around you, and the dragon swoops past and flies up toward the north.
Oh, he's still in the air? God damn it.
Oh yeah, he's still in the air. So he's now kind of 10 feet above the ground in between the two western anvils. So Kari and Cloak are just like, oh shit. Glaz, as you kind of come to your senses and you can feel those just probably first and second degree burns over the top third of your body, you can see the water in the cistern begins to rise. And in seconds, it's back up to the level it was when you climbed in.
Glass squeezes like the crispy tips of his ears that were out at the top, and he's like, "Ow!"
Yeah, you have like big clumps of just charred hair. Yeah. All right, that was the dragon. So Glaz, your turn.
So I'm going to try channel this ley line again.
All right.
Come on, Dungeons and Dragons. 9.
9, not good enough. Not good enough.
But he is going to try to cast the chill touch again.
All right.
With a bless. It won't. They'll never make it. Yep, only a 12. Glaz as his ears are scorched, he hear that throbbing you always feel after a burn. He just can't get it pulled together.
Cloak,
I
your
believe
turn.
he hurt.
Is there a way I can get in melee? Because he's like flying in between the two anvils. Can I like jump off the anvil and be like driving the sword into him? Possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can kind of like put your foot up on one of the carvings. So you're up on the sides of the anvils. They're very intricately carved with these relief images of dwarven smiths creating mighty weapons, and it's easily enough to give you hand and toe holds, so you can scamper up the side onto the top of the anvil.
Okay, and I want to drive my sword into him, and I want to use my last crit.
Ooh, all right. Give me some damage.
All right, so let's do the first roll, abilities. And I'll explain this in a second as we roll the damage. So 6 damage plus 6, so 12 damage in total. As he goes, and he just like gets in between his sword, like he's this is for love and stuff, and he's like driving his sword into the back of the dragon, and like hanging on, and is on top of the dragon driving his Nihheim saber right between. In the shoulder blades of the wings, and like his cloak is like flying through the air from the heat, and he's just pushing down further as like probably steam and like shit is like coming out. He's just pushing further and further.
All right, so as you run up the dragon's back with the battle cry and Fluffitstuff's name on your lips, driving your blade between its massive vertebrae, it throws its head back, desperately trying to snap you off of its back with its flaming jaws. And you can see, the rest of you see this burst of red-orange light, this sort of underlight cloak as he rips the dragon's spine open. And it claws desperately toward its back, its wings flailing and faltering. Somehow it's still in the air, just its momentum of when it swooped over Glaz, sort of carrying it back toward the center of the room. And it doesn't seem able to shake Cloak free. And you can see that blood is just pouring bright orange down its back. And it's actually causing the blade of your saber, Cloak, to blue along the edges from the heat. The steel is actually changing color. And it begins kind of raving and ranting in Draconic. And it's driving itself toward the portal.
Oh.
And you can feel its strength beginning to ebb. You're not sure it's going to make it. It might just crash into the steps.
Okay. I still want to drive it. I literally, if it's like trying to fly, can it fly through the portal? Like, is that something it's big enough to? Okay.
Oh, the portal is quite big. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he would be like driving it in, and he wouldn't be able to move this round. But just in Inferno, he would say to him, "You're fucked." That's all he's saying in Infernal.
Trash talk.
And he's gonna try to fucking get out of there if he's like trying to go through the portal.
All right, so yeah, you can wrench your blade free and just sort of vault off of its back, and you kind of land on the stones. You land hard enough to like wrench your knee a little bit. You're gonna take 3 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall. But you manage to keep your feet, and you see this dragon just desperately trying to pull itself into the portal, and it essentially just kind of crumples and tumbles in through the ring of blue fire as you see the light in its eyes going dark. And it just sort of tumbles into it. And then there's a sudden burst of almost incandescent white light that forces you to throw your hands in front of your eyes or risk being blinded by the intensity. And this, you feel the skin on your arms blistering from the heat. And after that initial flash, you can see that swirling ring is growing faster and faster. And you see the dragon caught almost like a piece of a scrap of paper in the wind, just sort of tumbling in this flaming tunnel. And far, far in the distance, you can hear something coming from somewhere else. It sounds like these bass voices raised in maybe like a military chant or a song, something like that. But it's so far distant, it's barely reaching it to you, and it's somehow carrying over the sound, this blast furnace roar of the portal. And you watch as this ring begins to waver and constrict and starts pulling tighter as it swirls. And you just watch the dragon's body tumble down this strange flame tunnel as the opening constricts smaller and smaller. What's everybody else doing at this point?
Shit.
I want to shoot the dragon again before he goes through the portal.
So you can see as basically just as the portal is winking out. So you're just kind of watching this in a little bit of stunned awe as far as I'm getting.
Glaz wants a souvenir. He's trying to think of something to do to try to at least get a scale off this thing.
You think you can probably find something on the floor here. This battle was brutal. You think Cloak himself just now probably ripped 3 or 4 big ones loose.
Okay.
Yeah, the dragon took some deadly critical hits.
There's probably some stuck to him.
Yeah, there might be a claw or a tooth in someone's shoulder. All right, so this bright blue flame constricts tighter and tighter, and then you hear this strange roar that sounds almost like the dragon, the dragon that you just slew, and you see its body thrash and throw its arms wide, and its mouth is gaping as if life is flowing back into its body, and then the portal closed. And that singing, the chant, the roar of the dragon, the just howling, horrible flaming roar of the furnace of the portal goes near silent, down to a sort of hissing and popping, and this blue flame settles down and burns just sort of merrily in the center of the iron and brass plate on top of the dais.
Does the ley line stop singing as well?
The ley line grows stable.
So it's not that
More,
pulsing,
I will say the ley line grows more stable. It still occasionally has like these chaotic crescendos, but it's not this just head-splitting wail that was happening while this portal was growing in intensity. You could see Kane and Whisper sort of look out from the from the main hallway with just sort of like eyes wide, looking around.
Yeah, Glass just sort of is in the barrel, just kind of like.
Yeah. You see Cloak. He pulls back his hood and like takes up his mask, and like you just see like part of his like face is like burnt from when he dodged the fucking fire breath earlier, and he's like, "I got him."
Everyone alive!
Glass like starts doing slow clap. Woo! Yes, we did it. Well, I don't know if we killed, threw away, flushed a dragon down the fire hole.
All right, so you hear kind of heavy footsteps as Paula Everforge steps over the molten slag of armor and weapons in the armory and sticks her head, just kind of the normally very carefully coiffed braids that her sandy blonde hair is pulled back in. It looks like some of her hair is broken. The braids have popped loose. It's just kind of hanging wild in front of her face, kind of slicked down with sweat. And she says, it's the portal's closed. If you can keep me safe for a few minutes, I think I can seal it. I can undo what they made me do.
That sounds like a good idea.
If that portal opens, I heard them. They're coming. The things that destroyed this place.
Well, hurry up then.
Centuries ago.
Just do it.
No time to waste.
All right. So
I can't take another hit.
She runs up to the dais and rapidly climbs the steep stairs, and she kneels down in front of the flame that's there. The plate. She doesn't touch the plate. She gets up to it, and you can still see that up around the dais itself, the air is shimmering with heat distortion. And she begins to half sing, half chant in Dwarvish. And she begins. It sounds like a prayer. And she just begins going through this long litany. And so, what are the rest of you doing while she begins this?
Glaz sort of sees her go up there, sees her begin to do something, and then he does that really awkward, like, sidestep, like as though he's sneaking but not sneaking. He's eavesdropping but not eavesdropping, even though he's a 7-foot tall trollkin. Right. Up one step and two more, and then two more. And he's like,
I always think of that visual as like in an anime where they all of a sudden like he's like doing this, and all of a sudden like it pans, like does that like Star Wars like side pan, and all of a sudden he's like closer, and like it's just periodically in a different pose like every time.
Yeah. All right, so Glaz, you managed to make your way up the steps, and you can see this iron and brass plate, and you can now see that there are Dwarvish and what you're pretty sure are Ignan runes carved into it, as well as intricate circles and geometric shapes and lines that is absolutely drawing on the ley energy here, as well as focusing it. And this seems to be not only the source of the portal to the plane of fire, but it's probably, what helps channel the magic into those ever-burning torches out in the front hallway, and the stove in the kitchen. All of that. This seems to be the focal point for the ley line's energy.
Since I know Terran, and I know Terran and Ignan are sort of sister languages, can I glean anything from this in an actual learning sense with my glyphs and runes stuff to file away?
Sure. You can tell that the runes inscribed into the plate have the essence or the nature of stability, of conquest, maybe that's not the right word, but it's the closest that comes to your because you're kind of looking at it through the Terran filter, which is just, it's a little off, but you're getting in the right ballpark. And you can make an intelligence arcana check with advantage.
That's 14.
14. Okay. All right. So, yeah, you're pretty sure that these glyphs are binding the ley energy here and focusing it in a means that the dwarves could use. So essentially, it is taming this unchecked fire. Apparently, this place is almost adjacent to the elemental plane of fire. And they were at one point gathering that energy and then focusing it out into probably the forges, into the anvils, to help them create, it must have been artifacts of breathtaking skill and power, using actual pure elemental fire that was under their direct and precise control. Generally, the trouble with elemental fire is it is so difficult to control, so difficult to focus, because its nature is to burn, to incinerate, to spread. And it doesn't behave exactly like normal fire does, and it's extremely dangerous. So this was apparently refining it almost into a more stable, usable form. And they used that to create what must have been probably immensely powerful magical weapons and armor, most likely, and other implements.
Yeah, Glaz is he's making these sort of weird noises as he's sort of figuring this out, and just how neat of a place this is. And, and it does. Oh, that is fascinating. And he's just all to himself, and probably mentally taking notes, but that he eventually would transcribe into his notes section of his moose skin.
All right, cool. So what are the rest of you doing while Glaz is examining the goings-on up at the...
Cloak is only listening to what she's doing with the portal and keeping like a tag on it. But he's more focused. He's going up to, he calls Puff Puff. He says, Puff Puff, come on. And he's walking up to Fluff and Stuff's body, and he's getting on his knees in front of the bear's head. I don't know what's left of it. Like, is it just like a bird, like bone carcass, or
like essentially the bear's structure is all there, but the top of the back, the front shoulders, the head are basically charred down to the bone.
Yeah. So he would like take his head, the bear's head, and kind of like hug on top of it, even though it's like charred and everything. And I said,
yeah, doesn't
yeah, you did a good job, Fluff and Stuff. It's okay. You're in the big lake hunting thing in the sky now. It's okay.
No.
And we couldn't have done this without you. You weren't supposed to die, but.
I'm gonna come over and say, Cloak, would you like me to say a few words? Part of my practice is to do such things.
Can you and Kari both do prayers, because your god's kind of wants just blood, and Kari's is probably more appropriate.
Cover all bases. Fair enough. But Marina is a goddess of passing of all blood. Not just the spilling of it in mortal combat, but the passing of blood on from life, where it flows, to death, where it flows no longer. There is much to our practice, which is more than just slitting open people's throats. That's my favorite bit, though.
I know, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
Kari is very intrigued and stands and turns towards you.
Well, Fluff and Stuff was a mighty bear, perhaps the finest of our companions. We shall not find one quite like him ever again. And whilst he gave his life, we are sure it's a he, aren't we? Whilst he gave his life in mortal combat. He did so for more than just domination or conquest. No, he did so for friendship. Because, well, friends stand by one another's side in tough times. And while Fluff and Stuff may be standing with us no longer, we few who remain will forever remember him and the friendship which we shared. That was pretty good.
That was really good. I like that.
Wasn't bad. I've done worse.
Kara, do you have any prayers for Fluff and Stuff?
Yeah, follow that.
I look at Cloak's little, like, breaking heart, and I think that normally I wouldn't give a prayer because the animal had passed of natural causes. It had been taken out by a bigger predator, but she tries to like throw something that will assuage his worries. He was a mighty beast, and will remain so in Fluff and Stuff heaven with the hunter.
Oh, okay. That's.
And I pet the dog.
Yeah, that's okay.
And he's like, Cloak is like tearing up a little bit, and he's like,
We didn't know him for too long, but he was really. I wish we had longer. Unfortunately, it was this time, but I'm glad we took care of that dragon and we got rid of it for the time. Well, I think it's dead. I don't know. But
Circle
you know what?
of life continues, friend. His journey does not end here. He simply goes on a better hunt.
Well, yeah.
so he's gonna, when Cloak's gonna look, and then he's going to take some of Fluff and Stuff's teeth. And like the two like
You're
sizers.
psychotic.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah, this is. I'm gonna take these to remember you by. And goodbye, friend.
and he like pets him.
All right, so you're petting his sort of charred black skull and and like popping the teeth out with your dagger in the other hand, and you sort of just kind of, you'd hear the clatter of tooth against tooth in his other hand as he tearfully says goodbye to Fluff and Stuff. Kane at this point is sort of nudging the red-robed human who appears to have bled out and breathed his last on the steps of the dais.
How is Kane looking? Is he near death?
Kane's basically fine. His tunic is his like coat or cloak that he wears is shredded and charred around at the sides, and you can see flesh underneath, but the skin is whole and unbroken and unburnt.
Okay,
looks like
I'm going
Cloak
to leave Cloak with his teeth wrenching from his dead dog and go over to
Bear,
Kane.
dead bear! The dog is
Bear,
not dead.
Bear.
The dog will be a more emotional death.
Foreshadowing.
Little does poor Cloak know that the clock was ticking on that, and thanks to one of our delightful viewers, the bear was going to turn on him as soon as that charm spell ended.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, someone donated for the bear to hate Cloak and love Kane.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it couldn't happen until the animal friendship wore off. So, so it was on borrowed time anyway, that friendship. All right. So, anything else you guys want to do while Paula is finishing her devotions up at the top of the?
I think that we'd want to
I'd like
search
to
the
help
red
Kate.
robe guy.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that was my next destination. Investigation?
Glaz is
Destination?
busy, but someone should search the red robe guy.
I'm
Sure,
going with Kane to do so.
You guys can search him.
Okay.
He has a dagger. He has leather armor that is now pretty badly damaged thanks to the fury of Fluff and Stuff. His robe was probably pretty nice and might have fetched a decent amount of coin if it were cleaned of blood and repaired. So if you guys wanted to take on that, it might be worth something. It's actually very rich fabric and very well made, and the embroidery is silver thread. And yeah.
Trading things is pointless. Gold is
if
pointless.
someone has mending.
You could prestidigitate the blood off of it. That would help. It still has big claw mark and an arrow hole in it. But
we could. I could probably find someone at the Hedgehog who we could pay to cast mending on it.
Probably.
I mean, or I could be nice and talk to them and play a game, and we would have a wonderful time having chess, and it will be great.
Sure. So his robes, if you get them repaired and cleaned, they're worth about 250 gold pieces.
Oh yeah, we're taking that.
Yeah. In his accoutrements, you find a spellcasting component pouch that you could take to use or replenish some of your expended supplies. Any of that. In one of his pouches, you find a few days worth of rations, a flask for water, and you also find a strange small leather pouch that smells pungent. Kari, the contents of it.
I open it because I have the curiosity of a cat.
You open it, and inside, hang on 1 second. I need
a Constitution saving throw?
No,
okay.
No, not yet.
Not today.
A moment. Well, day ain't over yet. But let me see here. 1 second. I need. Sorry, I'm dealing with flipping between PDFs rather than having all my books on my lap and ready to go. I beg your indulgence.
I know, I love physical books so much in comparison to PDFs. They're just so good there.
PDFs are good too, but I'm on a laptop. I don't have my 2 monitors set up, so it's really hard to have everything I need going at once. All right.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Oh, thank you. You find in this package is a little bit of. It's almost like this light brown. It seems almost like putty, something like that.
Putty.
Yeah.
Pouch of putty.
And it has a very pungent, slightly spicy, slightly earthy
I like it.
smell. You lick it.
I like it.
1 second here.
And make a new character.
That con save.
I'm searching for it, guys.
It is not particularly pleasant. Imagine the taste of, the very faint sort of base taste is, imagine old mushrooms. And then someone tried to, almost like they tried to disguise that flavor with some heavy spices, but it doesn't ever really manage to do the job.
And I have no idea what it could possibly be used for.
You could make a intelligence history check.
Oh, what did I just like? I'm so afraid.
I would also accept an intelligence nature check.
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Okay.
10. That is a history of 10.
A 10. So you're not exactly sure what this is. You suspect it's something that some sort of refined mixture that one would smoke. Perhaps an incense, or even like some manner of pipe smoke. But you're not sure what its deal is. Maybe it's just this dude's blend of pipe weed or whatever he likes.
Eat more.
Gross. I'm thinking about it. Is that all?
Yeah, that is pretty much all that you discover on him.
Glass, I found components. She kind of says, trying to see if she can get his attention, because she knows that's his deal.
Yeah, he's still watching as this is all happening here, but he's gathered all that he thinks he can, and so his attention's starting to get drawn to it. He starts thinking about dragon pieces and wanting to see if he can find what he can find of dragon pieces, either scales or claws or fangs, or even some of this molten. Actually, he might go back to his barrel where he knows some of the molten breath dropped into it and probably would be sitting at the bottom of the barrel, you know, almost like when you almost like these teardrops of molten drool, I guess, drool or breath. I mean, find out some of those types of things.
I want to second that search with Glaz, looking up. You know, I'm just collecting dead body parts right now. So,
all right, yeah, you can find several intact scales, probably a tooth that a smaller tooth that sort of broke loose it's wedged in Kane's armor, kind of stuck in his shoulder.
Kane, no, come on, Kane, stop it. Yeah.
Oh,
you're fine.
So, just for inventory purposes, what, like three scales, or?
You can find 4 intact flame dragon scales.
Any
are you keeping track of
claws?
And 1 tooth.
Yeah, I've got 1 tooth.
Yep.
No claw, and then how about
you can find some residue of the breath.
Okay. What do you want me to put down for that? Like
flame
a pound of
breath,
it, or would it be?
It would be like you could collect a small pouch of it, basically.
This pouch of.
It's this. When you get a hold of it, it almost breaks into this coarse black ash, or maybe like porous charcoal.
Okay,
is sort of what it reminds you of.
Flame dragon breath ash.
Yep, there you go. So about the time you guys are finishing up your search. Oh yeah, sorry. Question. Go ahead.
So when I had my sword in the dragon's back, you said it was started turning blue. Is that something like a property was being added to it, or is that just because it was becoming very tempered?
It was the heat. It was the heat was screwing kind of with the temper of the steel, and now it makes your blade kind of look awesome. As far as you know, no magical properties or anything have been added to it, but it does look super cool.
Look at this guy, yeah. Dragon killer.
All right. So as you finish up gathering your bits, the dwarf woman up at the top of the dais finishes her chant, and there is a sudden flare of blue light, and then it dims sharply as this sort of campfire sized flame that was in front of her is now, almost from your perspective, gone. She stands up and kind of brushes the dirty knees of her trousers off and looks down at you and says, I don't want to leave this here. We left it here long ago, and that was a mistake, clearly. It can't stay here.
Are we not leaving? What can't stay here?
The plate, yes?
This.
Is that what she's referring to as the plate?
Not the plate. One of you, please bring me one of those torch sconces from the hallway.
I will go and grab it for her as quickly as I can.
Okay. Kari will. She's very fast.
All right, so you can go and find one of the iron torch sconces that's just kind of burning merrily on the wall there, and you can spend some time kind of prying it off, or undoing the screws that hold it to the wall and release the bracket and pull it loose. As soon as you do, the flame in it flickers and dies. And you can pull it free and bring it back up to her. So she holds out her hand, takes hold of it, and then when you get up the stairs, Kari, you can see that blue flame that was in the center of the plate is not gone, but it is much, much smaller now. It's it looks like an oversized candle flame, just sort of barely burning in the center of that strange arcane diagram in the center of that iron plate. She takes the sconce and sort of brings it down and carefully with you know the kind of torches I'm talking about, it's almost like an iron cage, like a round iron cage. Yeah. And she scoops the blue flame. She scoops the flame into this thing, and it sort of hovers just inside and then grows to fill that cage. So it's like a blue burning torch. And she holds it out and says, I hope you'll take this. It can't stay here.
Oh,
Glaz will be right there.
Okay. Glaz is grabbing.
If it stays here, the armies of the city of Brass will once again try to march through.
Would Glaz know that? I know that. Would Glaz know that?
I mean, the City of Brass. You're an arcane student. You've probably heard of it. Yeah, you know that it's a wondrous, legendary city on the plane of fire.
Yeah, Glaz is just. That is what we saw through the tunnel of fire. That was the city.
Oh, is that the war? Wait, is that the war chanting I heard?
That was probably the war chanting of the Ifrit. Yes.
Oh no, that's okay.
And we don't want them to come in, right?
No, they came through once before and almost killed all of my clan.
Copy that.
We barely managed to seal the portal.
Okay. What are we gonna do with this? Can we just like put it in our backpack and it won't light stuff on fire, or is it?
Oh, it will absolutely light things on fire. I wouldn't put it in your backpack. But you're adventurers, and I see that you have at least one wizard among your number. It's pure elemental fire. I'm certain that this heart of flame can be of use to you.
Really?
Also very dangerous. You can carry it.
Say no.
I mean, yeah, Glaz is. Can I carry it? Do you mind if I carry it? Can I carry this?
I mean, it's a torch.
Do you mind if I carry it?
You have to carry it always, and then find a place to put it when we're resting, and then make sure no one steals it. Because if someone steals it, they're going to summon an army of asses that are in the fire plane. I made a rhyme there. See?
I think actually we should take it to the Collegium. Yes. I look at Paula.
Paula, yeah. She shrugs and she says, "I don't much care what you do with it.
Okay.
If you think it can be of use to you, take it."
I remember that Paula's here. By the way, Paula, about my armor. Do you think we could get some kind of discount / pro bono for me having saved your life?
She chuckles and she says,
I audibly groan.
She says,
as
Master
loud as I ever had.
It would be my honor to finish that armor for you. You needn't worry.
Good, because I mean, I had the money, obviously. I had it all along. I just wanted to make sure.
She chuckles at that and says, "Of course."
I like
so
you.
She looks around and she says, "I haven't much to offer you. Not only did you save my life, you prevented a terrible disaster from repeating itself, probably even worse than the first time. But she looks down at the broken body of Spensius down on the floor and spits and says, 'That one and his filthy minions missed perhaps the greatest treasure in all of the halls of Everforge, and I'll offer it now to you.' She walks down the dais to one of the cisterns in the northeastern corner, and she sort of reaches down into it and sort of splashes around in the water, and she comes up with this bundle of what looks like black metal chain armor. And she unrolls it, and it looks like a chain shirt, and she holds it out and she says, "This shirt was one of the greatest treasures that my great-grandfather forged. It is composed of the metal adamantine, and I will offer this armor to you. It is enchanted. It will turn aside the most powerful blows. I offer it to your company, and you may do with it as you see fit."
Well, I've already got a suit of armor. Paula's making it for me, so
So she just holds it out to whoever wants to take it.
You killed the dragon.
Okay. And he like takes it and he like looks over at like Kari and Kane, and then he's like, "Oh, okay. I mean, you get to cast Identify on it."
When you look at this armor, it is indeed a chain shirt. The links are a little bit. Usually, when something is this finely woven, the links are kind of delicate. These links aren't delicate. These links are thick and looks like they've been flattened, which broadened them a little bit. This is freaking dwarf chain armor, right? And the metal it's made of is like nothing you have ever seen before. It's so deep, dark charcoal black, not quite charcoal gray, not quite black, but almost. And it has these flecks of silver white in it almost like distant stars.
Does this look like this armor would fit me, or does it have to get fitted to me?
It looks like it would be maybe a little loose, but not terrible.
I mean, maybe when we get into town, you can like fit it to me or something. It seems a little bit big.
Like so he's like holding up against him.
You're like holding it out. Yeah, it looks like it'll be a little big on you, maybe down to your knees instead of your waist. But and so she just smiles knowingly and says, "I'm sure it'll all work out."
Okay.
And she looks around and she says, "If you're ready, I think I'd like to get the hells out of here."
Oh, I would too. Let's go.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I concur.
Glaz saddles up next to her and starts asking a bazillion questions about
what about that room? What about that room with the statues in the thing that we didn't go into because it was trapped and we were worried about the dragon, but now the dragon's not here.
We went in there. That's where the sarcophagus was.
Yeah, the sarcophagus.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. The room with the mirrors. Yeah, that's where the golden sarcophagus was.
Then let's leave as fast as possible.
There's the door at the far side of the anvil.
There is a door at the far side of the anvil. Yes.
Is there anything? True. He would look at Paula and be like, "Is there anything in there?"
She kind of squints and she says, "Yeah, that is where ore was smelted and refined."
That could be worth nothing. I don't know.
Well, it could depend on what kind of ore. He would like.
I haven't been in there recently. I don't know if anything survived the fire creature's rampage through here.
Okay.
I want to open it.
Hold on. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kari, make a
I don't have
save.
the torch anymore. Yep.
Well, yeah, I do. Glaz does.
All right. So who's opening the door?
Yeah.
Kari, is that you opening the door?
That's me, Kari.
Yeah, Kari.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you open it up, and there
Can
are
I
just.
sleight of hand open it just in case? Okay, no, you're already going into description. I'm fine. I'm alive.
Oh,
yes.
I mean, if you want to open it carefully, sure. You can just kind of crack it just a little bit to peek in, and you can't see much because there's like this sort of twisted tower of jagged metal. Just kind of that's pretty much all you can see once the door is just cracked. You open it up more, and this room is just full of torn equipment, shattered crucibles and smelters and furnaces, and just great, bizarrely twisted and half melted and weirdly solidified, once molten metal, just kind of piled up all around the room.
Okay.
So it looks like the equipment that was once used to smelt the metal and refine the ore into actual useful ingots and the like was destroyed long ago, and it's basically just in chaotic heaps and piles all over the room.
I will take a quick sift through anything to see if there's like something shiny lost in the rubble, but if not, she'll just kind of look over her shoulder and then shake her head.
Okay, you can make me a wisdom, perception, or intelligence investigation check as you search through the room.
Let's go with a perception. Yeah. That is another net one. I am just on dicing. I actually fall over into the door.
You bump one of the piles and you realize that it's very precarious, and it starts to wobble and screech and clatter, and you can see bits of jagged metal kind of falling off the stack. Clang, 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 clang.
I try to dive out of the way.
You try to, all right, so you run back and it just gives way. Clang, knocks into another one, which then topples. And Terry kind of comes running out of this room.
I was just going to say, she's got that like creepy feeling every time something.
Dust and reddish brown rust just boof out behind her. And you can just hear this rumbling and clanging continue for about a minute or so until it finally settles. And like one little piece of metal just kind of ting, 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 ting across the floor to your feet.
Did you sneak in there successfully?
You know, for a cat, sometimes you are not very graceful. Or quiet.
Have you ever lived with a cat? They knock shit over all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kari is incredibly embarrassed and just stands there feeling like an absolute idiot.
Oh.
Bro.
Cloak, as he's like, okay, I think it's time to go, and he would walk next to Paula and like hold out his sword and be like, see what happened to the things and blah blah blah, and kind of explain what he did and how awesome he looked and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he would like take out a dragon scale and he's like, is there any way we can incorporate this and like retemper it into this kind of blade and then kind of give it some sort of unique property?
She pauses for a moment. Her brow kind of furrows. You're wanting me to try and work a dragon scale into a weapon?
Yeah, that's totally what I'm asking.
I don't know. Those scales don't seem like normal reptile scales. It's possible. I don't know that I could work them into an existing blade. If they're malleable, if they're metal, or at least close enough to it, I might be able to... if I can find a way to use them, I can perhaps create a weapon out of them.
That goes, we have elemental fire. Holds out the torch.
She looks at that and her eyebrows go up and she says, I'll say it's possible, but I can't make any promises right now. It's something that we'll have to look into. And maybe once we get back to Zobek, I can experiment.
Okay. We have plenty of time.
I mean, we do.
Right.
So about the
and she
elemental fire.
looks at the blue torch and she says, I don't want that in my home. If you want me to try and use it to work something, you can bring it, but I'll expect you to take it when you're done. To take it when I'm done with that session, and you'll have to come back again later.
Okay.
All right.
I agree with those terms. We can talk to Collegium and work something out.
If you have an in with the Collegium, I'm certain they have all manner of texts and treatises on dragons and artificing, and they might have something you can use that will help point us in the right direction.
Oh my god! And he like digs through his bag and opens up like this wet thing, and he's like,
I have a pass to the library, and I can tell the class we could go research this, and then more about landlines, and then we can study about the elemental plane of fire. Oh my god, there's so much we can talk.
Glaz is drawing runes in the air with the elemental fire torch.
like a sparkler.
Like a sparkler. He's like a little kid with a sparkler.
No matter how much you wave that torch, it never seems to go out, although it does, crackle and sputter as you wave it through the air, just as you expect fire to do. But yeah, so if there's anything else here you guys want to do, you can, if you wish to take your leave. If you are worried about other members of this dragon's retinue or its hirelings, you hear no sign of them, and Kane, who's been keeping watch by the front door, is just still sort of looking out there, kind of hidden in the doorway, and he doesn't raise any alarm or bring any attention to himself or to what he's looking at, so it all sounds clear.
We may have
I'm sure. I'm sure that, what was her name? I wrote it down.
Paula?
Not Agatha. Paula, thank you. I'm sure Paula really wants to get home.
Get on the move.
Oh, Paula.
Yeah, the only
right here.
I mean, it was a full day to get here, correct?
Just about.
Taking a long
8 hours. But we took 6 hours. 6 hours.
We took the long way about though, because we followed the shady routes instead of like going through the town.
And also went through the trees, and that slowed us down because Kari's
yeah, you did take the shady routes around, but the actual trip from Zobek, once you knew what direction you were going into the Margrave, did take you about 6 hours.
Okay. Yeah. We would take a little bit safer routes back.
Well, and I'm just thinking, I mean, we're all kind of, I mean, I know I'm tapped. I bet our clerics are tapped.
I'm actually pretty good.
I have 7 hit points right now.
I mean, I'm fine hit points-wise. I'm spell. I'm just thinking Glazor just goes, as he's drawing, goes, so we want to rest a little bit. Remember there was that weird owly bear thing that we didn't fight? Because this Margrave forest, it is He's still drawing. It is not necessarily the safest place in the world, and I know I would not want us to be caught unawares while we are not at our best.
Who'd you cast that on, Kari?
You.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know if my mic is muted.
No, you're
okay. It's a +1 because you have a wisdom of +1 modifier, right?
Do I though?
I believe that's correct.
I do. I actually do. It's one of my. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, though, it probably has been 24 hours since our last long rest, has it? So we couldn't long rest.
You could not long rest yet. No, you'd have to. You could basically get.
And I've already used arcane recovery, so Glaz is SOL ratings. So never mind. Let's just go. Let's go home.
Yeah, let's go. I don't want to stay out here any longer. I kind of want to go to bed. I'm sure Riordan wants to go back to the fuck house. And
definitely.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can have breakfast at the Hedgehog tomorrow morning. And maybe play some more games and talk to people and meet lots of nice friends and tell them about my elemental fire.
Wait, can you make a mask out of that dragon scale with the bear teeth?
Kari kind of wants to bury
maybe that's Paula's specialty.
Oh, he's asking Paula.
Looking at Paula, yeah.
But she might know somebody.
The dragon scale, I'm a metal worker. If the scale has similar properties, then I could fashion it into a mask. The size of that one would certainly fit your face.
Oh. And put the teeth.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I could mount those in it, sure.
Yeah. Oh.
I like it. That would be very cool.
I think it'll look really cool.
All right.
And then that way Fluff and Stuff will always be with you.
Yes. The power of Fluff and Stuff with me. And then I can parrot
So you guys can probably make it back to Zobek in one good day's travel, because you have rangers who are at home in the forest.
2 rangers.
Otherwise, it would absolutely take you way more than that. Easily 2 days of travel to push through the dense old growth of the Margrave.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, come on, look this way, and go around this.
Cloak can lead you on easy paths that just you're not even sure how he finds them. It looks like solid, dense undergrowth, but he somehow manages to find trails through it and lead you swiftly through. So you guys travel for, we'll say, probably about 4 hours, and you're under just this dense, dark canopy, and so that even with the sun blazing brightly overhead, it just can't penetrate this leaf cover above you. So Kari, you're quite at home. It's easily dim light and in the best of conditions under here, and so your dark vision is seeing you through. Kari, you're protected from the piercing blaze of the sun that so disorients and stabs at your eyes and skin. So it's really comfortable here, and something about this forest reminds you of home. It's almost like it almost smells the same, just not quite. And as you're making your way through, Kari, your ears prick up when you hear a sound that absolutely reminds you of home. It's this plaintive, almost wailing sort of fluting note that reaches to you from off in the forest. The rest of you hear it, and it immediately sets the hair on the back of your neck standing up. It's just this eerie, just haunting kind of sound.
That sounds familiar.
What the hell was that?
Can we avoid your home? Because that shit there was not sound good.
So you're pretty sure you have a decent fix on the direction from where the sound came from.
I'm gonna go and find out because I'm curious.
All right, Kari takes off into the woods.
Bye.
Anybody else going as well?
Wait, what?
Come on, we've got this far. Can't lose her now.
Oh, so you can go and wander over to ley lines, easy peasy. But the second that I go over to see something from the Shadow Roads, it's a big fucking deal.
Glaz was more surprised by it than necessarily objecting to it.
Okay.
Let me pause one moment. Hey, Kluke, did you ever try that shirt on, the chain shirt, or because it's been hours at this point? Did you ever try it on, or you just kind of stow it?
I would have tried it on and then seen if been walking and had and pointing in directions and seeing if there's a way she can take measurements on me. But,
okay, so as soon as you kind of shimmy into the chain shirt, you're shocked to realize that as the chain unbunches and sort of drops to its full length, it fits you perfectly.
Wait, what happened?
It breaks just past your waist. The sleeves come down to just short of where, say, a shirt sleeve would drop to. It fits perfectly across the shoulders and chest. It's a little bit heavy. It's a little bit heavier, and chain tends to settle all its weight on your shoulders. But it's perfect. It's as if it was made specifically for you.
Did your grandfather know me?
Paula just sort of smiles and keeps walking.
But that's okay.
That's his magic.
That I wasn't expecting that. So okay. That is magic. I love it.
Yeah, and he would have this armor on that. I don't know. I couldn't remember what the armor does.
So that is adamantine chain shirt, and what that does is that turns any critical hit you suffer into a normal hit.
Ooh. Is there no bonuses at all? It's just the same.
No bonuses. Its armor class is just like a regular chain shirt. But it negates critical hits against you. Just
uncritical.
That's fine. You
are uncritical.
Cloak the uncritical.
Now it's still 20 still automatically hit and all that. It just no critical effects.
Doesn't crit. Okay, so it's not like a dodge on a 20. Okay.
Right.
Awesome. I love it.
Yep.
Because I'm always in melee combat anyway. So
you're taking some hits, baby. All right, so you guys set off into the forest, and you every now and then you hear this strange, mournful, wailing, sort of windy fluting sound. And every time you do, it's like someone walked over your grave. It's a decidedly unpleasant feeling. Kari, it's even a little, it has that to you, but it has this weird sense of familiarity that you find pleasant. And so as you make your way through the forest, you come upon a small, it's not exactly a clearing, but it's a little glade where the tree trunks are farther apart and their canopies still touch and are still blocking the sun for the most part, except in few little rays that reach down to the moss. And you can see a corpse riddled with arrows lying face down in the moss and amongst the stones and the rotting logs. And there is what appears to be a desiccated, it looks like a desiccated unicorn, sort of bowed down on its knees next to this corpse. The corpse is dressed in black, white, and sort of this deep purple or maroon silk. Looks almost like aristocratic riding clothes that you might expect to see. You can see shiny, polished leather boots, and you can see the skin tone of one of the hands, and there's a lace ruffle peeking out from under the velvet coat that the figure is wearing, and the skin tone is just this slightly bluish tinge off of alabaster. Very pale. It looks like a Shadow Fae.
Does it look like one of the royal Shadow Fae family?
It looks like, I mean, maybe not one of the royal family particularly, but it's someone incredibly well dressed. So probably someone, possibly a noble of some sort, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking for any noble markings that I might recognize then.
You can't really see much. can't really see much from here. And you, of course, Kari, recognize the creature sort of kneeled down in the moss next to it. The rest of you might mistake it for a moment as a dead unicorn that's almost mummified. Its body is sort of desiccated and its flesh is pulled tight against its bones. And its horn looks like, imagine if it were made of, say, like driftwood, and then worms or termites got at the driftwood and there were great swaths of it sort of chewed out. That's what the horn looks like. And it sort of, you're looking at it and it looks dead for the moment, and then it sort of shakes its head and lets this horrible shrieking neigh, and air blows through the horn and you can hear that fluting sound again. And up close, it makes you grit your teeth. Kari, this is called a Shadhavar.
I knew it was. Yes, I knew that. That was my next question.
Right. Yep, that's it. So yeah, you're gonna get closer to take a look at this this poor bastard who's been shot full of arrows, and see if you can identify him. All right. So as she does, the rest of you are just sort of, trying to figure out what the hell you're looking at and what's going on here. There is a faint creak of bow strings and bow limbs, and you blink and look, and you didn't see them a second before, but you can see what looks like elven figures sort of standing in the dense forest growth around you. In fact, one of them, near Kari, has her bow drawn and is staring, has her head canted to the side and is staring intently at her, and has an arrow leveled right at the center of her chest. This elf figure is female. She has long, sort of lavender-colored hair with these almost silver streaks in it, and her hair flows down over her shoulders and sort of splits at her neck and covers each of her breasts, which are otherwise bare. She is naked as far as you can see, and save for like a little bit of an ivy vine curling around one of her wrists. And she tilts her head and leans forward. And as she does, she sort of takes a step out of the brush. And from the waist down, she has the body of a doe. So it's almost like, imagine a deer centaur. And she says, as she looks at Kari, I wonder if I get to kill this one too. And you can see that there are easily half a dozen more surrounding you, holding arrows at you. Men, women. And that is where we'll stop for tonight.
God damn it, Kari.
God damn it, Kari, running up in the forest.
I have to run towards the closest noise. Oh, look, there's half centaur, elf, deer people now.
To be fair, running towards the closest noise is everything that we do in this body.
That is true. All right, so before we get into the outros, I just want to say, fantastic job, you guys. I was legitimately super freaking worried about that flame dragon. That was, in fact, a wormling flame dragon out of the Tome of Beasts. And you guys did great. You guys did fantastic. That was an excellent approach. I think I'm glad that I autopiloted Kane. Otherwise, it might have been way worse. And I'm also glad you guys still had fluff and stuff, because that ate the first and the worst of the breath weapons, as it turned out.
Yeah.
But there you go. And so on that note, between now and the next time we join, you guys have achieved level 3. So please level yourselves up.
Oh, shit. We did it. We did it right at. Great stuff. Awesome. Well, this esports team is leveling up, my friends. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. If you did, I mean, we're going to the Nationals next week, so be sure to check that out. If you enjoyed tonight's show, be sure to check out koboldpress.com. They are here supporting and sponsoring the show, and if you want to have your own battles against your own dragons, then you can do so by checking out the Midgard Worldbook and the Hero's Handbook that are available on koboldpress.com. Man, what a battle that was. It feels like super freeing to have, I guess, feels like a real achievement to have gone through an entire dungeon, cleared all the rooms successfully with no one dying, getting out the loot, and it was a pretty classic D&D experience. I really enjoyed that past few episodes. Of course, you can join us again tomorrow on Encounter Roleplay. We're here Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm running Call of Cthulhu. 4 p.m. we've got Warhammer Wednesday with Jim Davis from WebDM, and then, of course, we've got Star Trek Star Trek, Jesus Christ, Star Wars: Rise of the Dark Side. Spoilers. That's a different show. Anyway, let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? And of course, where can we find you guys online? Dan, great job tonight.
Thank you.
How was that for you?
Oh, that was a blast. I had a lot of fun. I thought you guys did a great job. I'm really excited to get some of these these other plot threads worked in, and see what's up with these Alcide that you guys have just encountered. So yeah, I had an absolute blast. I'm glad I managed to get the tech working. You can find me on Twitter at Dan_Dylan_1, and I love talking D&D. So anybody wants to chat, find me there.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Dan. And McLoken.
Hello, I'm McLoken. I was looking at the new Ranger archetype that I was going to pick. You guys want to know when I'm going to go?
Beast.
Horizon Walker. Horizon Walker.
Cool.
Yeah, that's why.
I could only wish someone wanted to play a Beastmaster. It's one of my favorite classes.
Just because when I wrote the backstory and how Glaz has made his character, it just seemed most appropriate that he's like wants to learn about the planes and like what his goal is, that he would go Horizon Walker. So I'm super excited reading it over here. I had a fucking blast. I was anxious the whole time, especially when the bear died in the fucking first turn. And our surprise round went to shit. So that was our 8-point plan went to shit in step 1. It's like disarm the traps. Like, oh fuck, man.
Unfortunately, one of the components of the traps is it flings the doors open.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I mean, I'm excited to see where this goes. Now I'm going to be anxious all week that we're going to get in a fight and we're not ready to get into this fight. We'll see what happens. But we'll see. I don't know much about what were these deer people?
They're called Alcide.
The Alcide? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look up these people and be like, what are the Alcide? Just so I can see what they look like. I have an idea what they look like, but yeah, I'm excited, and I'm excited to level up my character after the show's over.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Great stuff.
Oh, Will, remind me, we should
Yes.
get together between and see about getting some art that maybe we could flash up to show the viewers what we're dealing with.
I like the sound of that. That sounds great.
Cool. Pull some of the fantastic art out of the Tome of Beasts and the like, and I'll get with you afterwards, and we'll see if we can make that happen.
Awesome.
Oh,
Absolutely.
That reminds me, you can catch me tomorrow on my Mixer channel, mixer.com/storyquest, where I'm going to be doing my show Chosen, because I got super excited about my D&D character that I forgot that I do a show myself.
All good, all good. Tool School, same questions.
Oh, I had a blast. This was my first dragon. I was terrified, and I loved being able to like use the room. It was awesome to have to get to roll on the ley line table for my first time. So that was awesome, and that it was actually something super useful. So that was neat. And yeah, no, all around, I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. It was a great. And I'm with you, having a true like traditional dungeon crawl. I mean, that's just great stuff. And you know, it takes a whole team. I'm glad we all work together. You know, we really coming together as a team this season. So we'll see where this goes as we all move up in our levels. But anyway, I am Tall Squall. I unfortunately will not be here next week as I am prepping to get to Gen Con the following day, where you will be able to find me and my buddy Bird vs. Plane as we launch Bird in the Storm Publishing. We will have our first module available there for folks to playtest. We'll have digital playtesting as well. There will be some giveaways of these shirts that we got in the mail and ribbons and things like that to sort of launch off our new little venture, and hope to see you guys at Gen Con and all over the social media. You can find me as Tall Squall. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, last but not least, bringing in the clutch there at the end, Laurelania.
Post-game interview. Really want to thank my team, my coach. Shout out to my sponsors, everybody at Simplicity. I think that we're really going to go all the way in this series. I can't wait for game number 2, and we're going to be practicing really hard in scrims to make sure that we're going to be bringing the best game possible. Thanks to all my fans and people that watch the game every day and practice and play the game. don't forget to check me out on Twitch and Twitter. And yeah, thanks for your time.
Great stuff. Great stuff. It's been a fantastic match here today of Dungeons and Dragons. We're looking forward to moving up into the heats next week. We'll see you again, of course, at the same time of 8 p.m. Eastern for the World Tree Burns. But there's non-stop esports D&D action here on Encounter Roleplay, the premier channel for all D&D esports. You can join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for Call of Cthulhu esports, which is also a thing, just like Hearthstone. But with more tentacles. And you can join us there. We'll be playing all of our Magic the Gathering cards in that game as well. Until next time, my friends, try and start tuning in at once. We want to be there laughing when you do. Good night. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Esports.
Hello.